Class, today we are going to be talking about things that rot your brain. Teacher, I hear the Rob Taylor report will rot my brain. Is that true? What a tool. Well, that's correct, Susie. If you listen to the Rob Taylor report, it will rot your brain. Therefore, you must dive under your desk, grab the back of your head, and do the duck and cover maneuver. Let's see this example. Mama, I want to watch the Rob Taylor report. Timmy, no! It's too late. You've been warned. Children should not watch the Rob Taylor report.
Somebody please think of the children!
I don't know how that sounds on your TV when you get those that intro there, but man, that just wakes me up. That gets me going.
Yeah, it's less jolting than it was before, but it's still it's the here we go. Here's the intro. Here's the shot up the spine that'll wake you right up. So
That will wake you right up. Get ready to rant, damn it. And Chris, you're looking marvelous. You look like a man who's been in court. Like you've been testifying or something because you look so suave there.
God, can you guys hear me fine?
Yeah. Are you Scottish?
No. Maybe
No.
Scottish.
Part Scottish. You look very Scottish. I don't know what it is about you. It's maybe it's the flannel. You look very.
Should I go grab a Guinness?
put on a tam o'shanter. Yeah, that's it.
You're low tonight. Why are you so low?
Low. Like
Yeah, your volume's low.
Your volume's low.
Can you hear me now? Is this better?
Oh, way.
It's much better. Yeah.
Way better.
Too loud?
No.
Okay. I got an actual mic. Look, I'm Rob Taylor from the Rob Taylor Report.
Hey, anyone can be a superstar now and get a mic. I got mine from Temu. It was like $29.95. It was really cool.
Oh wow.
And it reports everything you do to the Chinese Communist Party.
Yes.
So now they know every move you make.
Now they know everything about me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was waiting for Cheryl because.
So what?
Testing.
I feel sorry for the
Do
people
that
that are
again.
spying on me. They must be like bored to death.
Test it with and
Testing.
without.
This is without.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the pop stopper is great if you if you want to make it into a comedy nose, then it works like a charm.
Well, I thought it was for a spit blocking. Isn't that for spit blocking? I don't know.
Yeah, I call it's a gobstopper is what it is. Yeah, but it's basically it's supposed to keep you from having percussive P's, so that when you speak to the microphone, and if you have percussive P's, it won't pop the microphone.
Nice.
And it's a windscreen as well. So if you're outside, you don't get as much as you're talking.
Yeah, that's why I got the fuzzies. I already broke one of my fuzzies.
I'm gonna
They're
go
hard to
grab
put
a
on
drink.
to the
I'll
mouth.
be back.
All right, go grab a drink, man. He's going to have a lot to talk about. We have a lot to talk about. We went to court today, and you missed it, Marty. And you weren't brought up once, and I couldn't believe that after the sheep incident. I mean, really.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's because they just keep getting my name wrong. I mean, it's like they keep spelling it like Colonel Kurtz, and I'm like going, well, I'm not that guy. I mean, sure, I'm a psychopath, and sure, I have other tendencies of Colonel Kurtz, but I just they don't bring me up in court. I don't know. Is it just because I just don't count? I mean, I'm feeling bad. I almost feel as bad as you when you weren't being molested in Catholic, in Catholic masses and stuff by the priests. You're like, wow, I was like the one kid that wasn't molested by the priest. I feel so bad. I'm like,
I'm just disgusted by that. All of them joined the lawsuit, and I was like, guys, really? All of you? Wow. So it's amazing how you put a little money in front of people, and all of a sudden we were all molested. Really, we were. And so, yeah, it's a strange thing.
I identify as molested. Well, I was kind of hoping I was going to get molested, but it just never turned out.
What are we talking about?
I have no idea. He really went off.
He was saying that my name never came up once in court, And I was like, I really feel bad. I feel as bad as you felt when the priest did not molest you when you're Catholic, because it's like they're molesting everybody else but him. And I'm like going, wow, so everybody gets to go to court and get brought up in court and called bad names in court, but me.
But
I-
I
was
know.
subtly
you're
trying
the
to move
only one.
on, and Marty just repeated everything that you guys just talked about.
Yeah, I was really hoping to move on to, but Chris,
Let's move
he really felt it, so he had to do it. Michaela just wrote me a message. She says, "Heart, heart, heart. Love you too, Michaela. Hope the family's doing well. Give them all a big hug." She says, I will. Just got back from Kansas. I'll jump on in just a minute because she is she just was out on a trip, and I asked her to share this show because she has such a huge following, because she's such a wonderful person. And hopefully we can get this out there to a lot of different people. And she's going to be watching. So hi, Michaela. Everyone say hello, Michaela.
Hello, Michaela.
I was hesitant to send this a link to the show to Steve Jonkus. You know what I mean? I didn't, but I thought maybe I should, and then he could watch it and be able to defend against it in the next
He can
trial.
bleep us
Just
out.
saying.
Well, and here's another thing to consider. If he is on the show, then technically everything we say to him is a privileged conversation and can be protected in court. So if he's on the show, everything we say when we're talking with him could be construed as a privileged conversation.
I don't think it works that way, Marty. I think you're
Actually, no. What happened the other day is we were sending some emails back and forth, and he's going, yeah, every time you loop somebody in, like if you want to put Ben or Michaela or Todd in this conversation, don't talk to them directly. Make sure you CC me on it, because that way we can have this as a part of a privileged conversation. So they, and I'm just like, okay. I mean, it's pretty easy to add a CC, not a problem. And of course, not being a lawyer and never playing one on TV, I might not be correct on this.
You could be. Cheryl Armstrong's asking, who's the new guy? I know, you're so clean cut and Scottish looking now. You know who he looks like? You know who you look like, Chris? Gavin McGinnis.
Huh? Who's that?
The guy who started the Proud Boys. And I know I'm going to start shit there, but I'm telling you, you look a little like Gavin McGinnis.
Thanks,
there.
Rob.
You're short.
Now I'm gonna be all over the internet as some conspiracy theorist or something.
Yeah, you're
Anyways.
now Gavin McGinnis while drinking a McGinnis, and like I said, all you need is some bagpipes and a tam o' shanter, and you got the tartan going on. So what the heck?
Yeah. Well, I've decided to look more presentable today.
You
Figured.
looked damn good, and I thought you held your own very well in court. I was surprised I got called up there, and I thought there was no way no lawyer in the world would call me to the bench to testify. But oddly enough, he did. And so we're going to talk about that. And Marty's dying to find out, and everyone's tuning in to find out. And when Carol gets on, we'll throw her on here. But Chris, you want to start out because it's your case, really. It's Danessa's case, and you were right next to the attorney, and you saw it first row.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what people want to hear at this point. It's just absurd. You have a group of Republicans, myself, you, Rob, Marty, Danessa. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, everybody commenting in this live stream right now. You got Jeremy, Samantha, Michaela, James McHenry, Cheryl supports us. We've got all these people together, working towards growing the party, working towards getting more conservatives involved in politics and involved in government. That's what we're supposed to be doing. That's literally the point of the Republican Party or of any political party. And that's what we're doing. And, I could be in bed right now, or I could be watching a movie or enjoying an evening alone or whatever I wanted to do other than this, right? But instead we're all here, right? We all make those choices, and instead we're here because we're trying to promote what's going on and promote the fight, because it's great. Like, let me separate. I want to apologize, Rob. I want to apologize to you. I should have listened. I should have listened years ago when you said that this was insane, that this is next to impossible to be able to get the Republican Party on the right track. And you aren't the only one. Michaela, you've told me about this. Sam, like, you have the same struggles in Douglas County. Like, all these other people warned me that it's almost an insane endeavor to try and get the Republican Party back on track and representing conservatives in Oregon. And I didn't listen. So I've just wasted, essentially. Luckily, it's only been the past like 13 months in my life. But Rob, you've put a lot longer into this. Marty, you as well. And essentially, here we sit, and we're still having to fight with these morons. Morons is like a really, really nice word for them.
Yeah.
I'll just be straight up. These people are evil. They're not honest, and they have malicious intentions. I don't know why. You've got us. We're trying to grow the party. That is the purpose of the party to begin with. And you have these people who are trying to shrink the party. They want less people involved, and they only want their people involved. And they want to pick and choose candidates and pick and choose committee members. And they literally argued in court today that I am a bad person because I invited people to meetings, that I invited non-PCPs, in their mind, the word PCP doesn't even mean precinct committee person. It means like amazing king and queen of the Republican realm. I mean, like, they have this distorted version of what these people mean to the world. And it's like, all you are is just a representative of your neighborhood. I guess I shouldn't say all you are. It's pretty important. It's pretty cool. But these people elevate it to something that is like far beyond that they're some part of some elite group, the chosen people. And it's like, no, it's backwards. You're representing the real people who are in your precinct, in your neighborhood. And those are the people that matter, not you. Once you get into office, you matter less, actually. Your opinions and your feelings and your thoughts and the assets you control in your life should actually be secondary to the people you represent. So I know it's a Friday Night Rant. I probably just ranted a lot, none of it was about the trial. But it all sets the stage for the insanity that here we are in December having to go in front of a judge. Sorry, Marty, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was saying, no, it's a good rant because it kind of gets to the whole point of, your biggest crime, if you want to call it that, was that you were trying to bring people into the Republican Party and trying to get people to be committed to be precinct committee people, which means you're sort of the administer, or not administer, but the person for your neighborhood. You're the person that has the pulse of your neighborhood and your precinct, and you're the person that can say, hey, here's what we got going on. Here's how you two can get involved to help out the Republican Party of Coos County or overall. And it's like, you made the mistake of saying, we need to add more people. And last I checked, I thought that was the whole idea. It wasn't supposed to be
the entire purpose.
Yeah, the entire purpose is to get more people to join the party. And how dare you try to get people to join the party that haven't been vetted and aren't in our special group and don't go to our church and don't have the same values that we do. And I'm like going, you know what? That's the whole point of having a big tent party, is that you have people that do have differing opinions. You have people that do go to different churches and do have different points of view, because that's how you get to a large amount of people that want to be behind what you're doing. Is you're like going, hey, everybody come on in, join the party. Let's have some fun here. We can make changes. We can make this work. And they're like, no. If you're not in the top 10 of our cabal, you cannot be part of the Coos County Republican Party. And it goes county. I mean, I didn't realize. I thought it was just like a Coos County aberration until I ran into Michaela and Samantha and Todd and the whole crew of Douglas, and the Roseburg Six, who all got, booted out of the party for daring to say that maybe they should listen to Rob Taylor and what he had to say about the ever royal David Brock Smith, and and they said was, hey, he's going to come over and talk about it, and they got booted out of the party for suggesting that maybe they ought to listen to a different opinion. And then we ran into a bunch of people from Lane County and Lynn County and all these other people that are
All over
telling
the
us
state.
the exact same story. And it
Yep.
just, at some point,
It
you're
just
going,
keeps
wow.
going on. Yeah, it's a pattern. It's a definite pattern. And Carol is joining us. Carol, how are you doing?
Okay. How's my sound working now?
Your sound's
sounds
working
great.
great.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm
Your
not
video
making noises in
is
the back?
just
Well, you are.
glorious.
Now you're not.
It's only taken me 4 tries.
That's the charm.
As I went
Oh,
through the
totally.
show.
Totally. Hey, Marty, good to see you. We miss you.
Yeah, well, thanks. I miss being there. I mean, it's like you guys moved and have all these court dates, and sounds like you're having all these fun times. And I'm like going, oh man, I
yes.
wish I was there.
Oh, you're in Los Angeles rubbing elbows with De Niro and all that stuff. Come on.
So I hope not.
Yeah,
Man,
sorry
I'd
about
have
that.
to- Well, first I'd have to bend down to rub elbows with De Niro anyway.
Well,
Because
yeah.
have you seen the Frankenstein boots he wears? I mean, no, I
Oh.
would stay clear of that guy. No, I'm in a peaceful little suburb in the lower southwest corner of Los Angeles, over by the Trump golf course. I've got to be next to the Trump golf course because I am that darn patriotic, don't you know?
Damn. I'm jealous. I'm jealous, I tell you.
Yeah,
So Carol was at the trial today, and Carol, she was surprisingly, to both me and her, we both didn't know that we were going to get called up to the bench to testify, and gosh, I never know what to say. And Carol was
The
up
judge
there.
told
and
you you were too loud.
Yeah, they
had
yeah,
to
he's
quiet
got
down.
to stop yelling. I get so excited. But Carol, you got to get up there. Maybe I should go and Chris, because Chris, you went first. Why don't I let you tell what you were asked and how you testified, and then Carol, were you before or after me and Rod?
After.
After.
Was I after? I don't remember. Chris just surprises me with things like this.
Sorry. I did actually put your name down. Rob, he called, our lawyer called you up all on his own. But Carol, I put your name down as someone who could speak to, not be getting notices, not being allowed to vote in meetings, even though you're a PCP, things like that.
Well, and you could kind of, the way it was set up, you were to only answer the question, not go on and on like some other people did today. I felt bad for the judge.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he gets it all the time.
Oh, my word. But I was a little bit, from my part, because I'm going to jump in here, Chris. And when they were saying, they have this proof that I got emails. Well, I've had this email address for over 20 years. And when Rod Schilling was the chair, I always got emails. That only changed recently with Michael. And I guess he had a problem with how maybe I see things, but and then they give this list of all these things sent to me, and I'm looking at it and I'm going, I'm thinking to myself, am I going crazy? And no, I did not get these emails. So I'm glad
the exhibit they proposed to the judge, which is why it got blocked. They tried to say that you're lying and that you did receive these emails. They tried to provide proof, like printouts from the computer that shows that you received those emails and opened one of them. And this whole printout they had didn't have your email address on it. It just said Carol Yardley, like it just said your name, which say I wanted to pretend that I'm having a conversation with you. I can just rename Rob Taylor in my address book as Carol Yardley, have a conversation with Rob, print it out. It'll say Carol Yardley, but it was actually with Rob. So
right.
I'm not saying
is
that's
that
what
how
they
they
did.
did that?
I doubt they're
I have
that
no way of
smart.
knowing.
No,
But the
Yeah.
point is you can't just say Carol Yardley and say that that's who I'm sending. You know, anyway, so
Yeah,
it also
Yeah,
could.
well,
unless they have the
It-
DKIM signatures, the DKIM signatures from the email header, there's absolutely no way they can prove that. And
Right.
and not only that, but they said, oh, we have proof that she opened it. Well, what kind of
Yes.
trackers do you have in your email that such that you can say, oh, this person opened that email? Now, if you get something
You can say
from,
it was opened, but not opened by Carol.
true.
You
well,
have
the
to
thing
prove
was,
that.
there was like maybe 6 different things listed there, and only one looked like it was open, which made sense that it went to somebody else, and they went, eh.
But the judge
Right.
didn't believe him. The judge wasn't buying it. The judge knew
Right.
that there was nothing there. And once again, he submitted evidence that wasn't evidence to anything. And then in the end, Michael admitted that no, it doesn't show Carol opened it.
Right, and it wasn't allowed. It was not allowed to be entered as evidence because it wasn't evidence.
As Rod and Nicole are saying right now, there is such a thing as evidentiary standards where it's like you can't just flash a piece of paper and say, I've got proof that Carol opened this email. And it's like, okay, prove the chain of custody on that one and prove to me how you can prove that this did happen, because you can't just get up there and state stuff and just expect the judge to go, well, I'm assuming he's telling the truth. No, the judge is going to go, you got evidence to that? Can you prove that in court?
And earlier in the year,
we're in court.
Earlier in the year, I had told Michael that there were certain people that were not receiving notifications for meetings. And he was like who? And I was like, why don't you send me the list of the people you are sending notices to? Let's start there.
Mhm.
And he refused, which makes me incredibly skeptical. You won't send me a list of the people that you're emailing notices to, but whatever. So I just said, well, here's 2 examples. And I gave Carol and I believe Diane Rich as 2 examples of people who were not receiving notices. And Diane did start getting the notices at that point, I believe, but you didn't.
Yes,
and it was like
she did.
he even responded back to that email and said, okay, I'll add them to the list, implying that you were not giving notices to these people. So it's just, guys, this is so ridiculous that we're even talking about this. This is why this is insane. It's totally nuts. I mean, back to the PCP thing. We want to be represented in Coos County. We want to grow the conservative message and movement. So for an example, there's 18 precincts. I live in precinct 10. Based on the population, my precinct is allowed to have 12 representatives, 12 on the central committee. And that's actually a big one. Like Marty's, I believe, is 2, right? You're allowed to have 2 representatives. So smaller precinct, less representatives. So mine is 12. Well, they won't allow me to be a PCP. They won't appoint me. I've been asking for a year. So I'm not representing my precinct because I don't have a vote. There's only 1 person that's an actual PCP for my precinct. So 1 out of 12. So there's 11 vacancies. And that 1 person has not been to a single central committee meeting all year. And he wasn't even present when he was elected to his executive board position, which is insane. Somebody stood in for him and talked on his behalf, and he somehow got elected without even being present for that election. Anyways, he hasn't been to any of these meetings. So my precinct has had 0 representation when it could have 12. 12. Well, guess what? Through my efforts and some other people's efforts, like Rob promoting PCP appointments, that is a precinct that has 12 people waiting to be appointed. So we have filled all 12 of those vacancies. There are 12 people waiting to be appointed in precinct 10, the full 12. And they do not want that. They have scheduled meetings, canceled them, blocked meetings, ignored petitions. They do not want the party to grow. They do not want it represented in any fashion other than their cute little club, which is like mommy, husband, like their close-knit family, the other people that go to their church and they go to Sunday brunch with, and that is it. It is a closed-off party, and that is illegal. Anybody can look up ORS 24 or 248.005, and I hate when people state ORS numbers, but if people want to literally look this up, it's 248.005. And it says parties to ensure the widest and fairest representation of members. This is legal. This is a state statute. It has to be done. It says each political party by rule shall ensure the widest and fairest representation of party members in the party organization and activities. And it says rules shall be adopted by procedures that assure the fair and open participation of all interested party members. So if you are a Republican in Coos County, you are allowed to come to meetings. You are allowed to participate. Not only are you allowed, they are not legally allowed to prevent you from participating. So a lot of the stuff today, I was charged with being a bad person because I invited the public to some of our meetings. Can you believe that? I'm a bad person because I followed the Oregon statute that says that we have to invite the public to our meetings, that we have to cast the widest net and ensure that everyone is being represented and being allowed to participate. It's our duty. And why wouldn't we? It's insane. These people are nuts. So I don't know that I hate talking about the little ins and the outs of what happened at trial. And I hate this, like, cause we all sat around and we were like, well, we'll see what happens December 5th. Like December 5th, it's going to be good. It's there's this thing that's going to happen. And we've done that all these prior meetings, the September meeting, it's where it's going to happen. It's where it's at. And then here, Michael walks into court today and he says, Your Honor, I've called an executive meeting for December 17th. And he goes, well, I haven't called it yet. I'm going to send an email later today and call it, which he hasn't. It's 8:00 and I don't have it yet. But I don't get email notices. They'll probably try and enter something in evidence that says that I do. But anyways, he says he's going to call this executive team meeting on December 17th, and we are going to appoint the PCPs. Like, why walk into court today and say you're going to do that when you've canceled the prior 3 meetings? Like May, I asked to do it. You say no. Do it next month. You cancel next month's meeting. July, I asked to do it. You say no. Do it next month. You cancel August's meeting. September, you hold a recall prior to the appointment meeting because the recall gets blocked by a judge. You cancel both of them. Then I get a petition where the county central committee says, we want to have a meeting to appoint PCPs. They ignore it for 2 months. Then in November, say, okay, we're going to appoint PCPs and cancel it 2 hours before the meeting. This is insane. And then now he's telling a judge, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it in 2 weeks, Your Honor. 2 weeks, I'm going to do it. And we're going to do it in a secret meeting with only 8 people.
Right.
I mean,
Yep.
Can we just say that these people are crooks? This is not okay. Michael Brainard, Lourdes Ruggiero, Julie Thies, I'm calling you out by name at this point. This is more than Michael Brainard.
Right.
These people are manipulating the Republican Party of Coos County to suit their own weird, petty vengeance against Rob and me and Danessa and some other people because they have hatred in their heart. They somehow believe that we are bad people. And we have somehow harmed them, wronged them personally. And it's insane. I mean, I don't know. I'm done. I can't even
So I want to take it from there
insane.
because I was actually called between when
And now handing off the rant to Rob.
Yeah.
and
I was called after Chris and Rod was called before me. And Rod did an excellent job of speaking because the attorney asked him, who he was. And of course, he's a Coos County commissioner. Would you like to be a precinct committee person? Yeah, I'd really like to be a precinct committee person. And he explained why. And by the way, for anyone who's listening, who wants to make sure what we're saying is reliable, I'm going to be putting out the audio recording of this trial as soon as I receive it from the court in the next week or so. I don't know how long it takes. Usually it takes about 5 business days or so. And when we get that, I'll play that so people can review this show and decide for themselves whether we're spreading mis or disinformation for themselves after listening to the recording, because I think you will find it very interesting. But they asked Rod what he thought was the reason behind them blocking this, or Michael blocking the appointment of these PCPs. And Rod said how did he put it? That it was because there are people in places that are giving him advice that he shouldn't really be taking, and it's it's bad advice. It's ill-advised what they're telling him to do in the court. Yep. And would you agree with that, Carol?
Yes, totally.
Okay.
This was ridiculous today. For what the true issue is. And that's just simply, okay, you can't you can't just dismiss elected officials. You don't have to like them, but they're there, and they're just as duly elected as Michael was. So this, to me, I mean, why in the world did I always receive, and I've been a PCP for a few years. Yeah, not new. I think I've had 4, maybe 5 years or something like that.
Of receiving emails from this same email server, because they use something that's similar to MailChimp. I forget the name, what they called it.
Yeah.
But
and I always got
contact.
I'm sorry, yeah. What was it, Chris?
Constant contact.
Oh, that thing. Yeah.
I guess it wasn't constant enough for you, Carol.
Well, I go, how coincidental that, I would always get them when Rod Schilling was the chair. Didn't miss any. But now I do. And I believe Michael said something to the effect today about how I view things or look at things. I don't remember.
Our lawyer was asking you questions, kind of putting the thought out there that you are on our side, right? Like he asked, do you support recalling Chris Castleman? And you were like, no, right? He's showing that you're very clearly on our side and against Michael. And Michael then cross-examined you and asked, how would he know that? How would he know how you feel about these things? And it's like, we didn't have the chance to like bring this up, but you're the one who nominated me to be vice chair. I wouldn't be vice chair had you not nominated me last November. So it's like, Michael, that's how. Also, it's very obvious.
Yeah, it's an idiotic question anyway, because if he's saying, well, how did the lawyer know to ask her if you were, and it's like, the lawyer can ask a question and it'd be like, did you support Chris, or did you support his recall? Yes or no? Well, no, I did not. Therefore, yeah, you support Chris. But I mean,
that shouldn't matter.
It shouldn't matter. She should still get her email.
What?
Right.
So I don't get my emails because I support Chris.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's the current leadership of the Republican Party. So people, when you're watching and you're hearing all this, don't get discouraged. And I get it. I'm discouraged right now. I'm just, because this is insane. It's a lot of time and effort and energy, but we are closer than you would ever know. And from speaking to other counties around the state, we're actually closer than a lot of the other counties to making this make sense again. So that the Republican Party is actually functional and doing what it's supposed to do. And we could be a model for other counties to do the same. So keep at it and get involved. Come when we have events or, if we're putting information out there, share it. I mean, it's not to like get Rob money or to make me famous. It's literally like, You know what my goal in all this is, so that I never have to be on Rob's podcast again, and that I never have to go to another Republican meeting. That's honest. I want to work myself out of a job.
Yep.
I want the Republican Party to be so good that they don't need Chris Castleman anymore, and they say, "Thank you, sir, for your service. Goodbye." And I'm staring back at 10 new leaders that are bright and talented and motivated and energetic. And honestly, I think I've found them. But the shame is that Michael Brainard and Julie Thies and Lourdes Ruggiero want nothing to do with you guys, because you're not one of their friends and you haven't known them for 10 years. And you don't tell them, sweet things in their ear that they like to hear. That's honestly what we've come down to. So they somehow got in charge of this party. They're not going to be in charge of it forever. At the latest, it'll be May. May is when this will really all flip. There's a tidal wave coming of grassroots people who are going to get involved and step up, and that's awesome. So it might have to wait till May, which is unfortunate because it means we're going to lose in the May elections. We won't have enough people and organization to really support a lot of the efforts in May. So,
and I don't think so. I think we're going to be just fine. I think after this TP Turning Point USA event, we're going to be crushing it here. And
we're still going to do everything we can. We're
still going to do everything we can. But the thing is I want you to explain to people why in May, because we were thinking that this could potentially go till next November. But now we have realized that there is a way to stop it in May in the long game. And would you explain that to everyone?
Well, it's kind of complicated, and I don't really want to get into it. But essentially, in May, we'll get enough people elected as PCPs. They will form the new committee, and then that new committee can then make a lot different decisions. And I'm not directing anybody as to what decisions to make. I mean, my whole role in this is to give you the power to make decisions. And to make decisions based on actual real facts that have been presented to you in an organized fashion. Right now we have a party where certain people, like Carol has explained, only certain people get some of the facts. And those facts are only given out by select individuals. And that's crazy. Only certain people are allowed to speak at meetings. Only certain people are allowed to attend meetings. So it's all very, very controlled. My role in all of this is to open it wide and allow anyone to participate, which allows us to find more leaders and give them the opportunity to rise up. And we've shown that. So by having this new headquarters, by forming this PAC, we've already met people in the past couple months that are incredible, that have stepped up. I mean, I can think of, I met a guy named Casey. I met a woman, Amy, Steve. I'm trying to just give first names so I don't totally oust people, but Steve, and Johnny and some other people, like some great people have stepped up and decided to get involved. Commissioner Rod Taylor, you've been busy being commissioner, so we don't judge you for not being involved, but now we're trying to get you back involved with the party. And that's a good thing. I mean, you have so much to teach us and so much value to add from being commissioner. We have 2 commissioner seats coming up for election in May. We need Commissioner Rod Taylor there to be guiding these candidates and helping them understand what they're about to undertake. And it's just, we've done it. We've shown that if you give people the space and the opportunity, they'll come to us. They'll find us, they'll rise up, and they'll do what they're supposed to do. And it just sucks that currently the official Republican Party for Coos County is focused all on suppression and distortion and disunity, all the things they gaslight us that we're doing.
Right.
So
we when we were in trial and the lawyer was going back and forth, the one person I think stood out for all of us was Lourdes. How do you pronounce her last name again?
I don't know.
Ruggiero.
Yeah.
I apologize.
And you have
Lourdes.
to say it with a whole lot of emotion, because that's what she gave us today.
she sure brought drama.
You know, I hate when someone competes with me for the drama prize. You know,
Oh, wow.
I don't like the competition. It's
Somebody
like, hey,
The
lady.
judge did tell her she was getting a little loud as well. He said, "Don't yell. You don't have to
Yeah.
yell."
And he told me not
Well-
to point. At one time, I pointed
Yes.
at Michael Brainard and said, "That man, since that man was been in charge," and he said, "Don't point, not in my courtroom."
Yeah,
That's funny.
her whole 3 or 4 page thing was like, good Lord, really? I mean, we've got people so fearful that no, they're not. Give me a break.
Oh yeah, she
Can
at
you-
one point, I mean, literally paused and looked at the judge and just went, "Your Honor, I'm just so sad, and
Yeah,
I'm so scared, and
I was
I cannot attend another meeting because I am afraid of Chris Castleman and Danessa Rains."
yeah.
I mean, I'm not exaggerating, people. This is literally
I
what
was
we saw
ready.
today.
I was ready to hand out an Academy Award.
Yep.
So that's what really ticked me off is she tried to portray us as someone who was terrifying the other PCPs at the September meeting when we were at the Cozy Kitchen, or that was the July meeting at the Cozy Kitchen, that we had somehow intimidated the PCPs. They're now afraid to come to the meeting. They're terrified of us. We're really scary. They're afraid we're going to hurt them, which is weird because I haven't heard anybody at any Republican meeting or any event I've been to. So I get a little loud. That's just the way I'm built. And I knew that this was coming. And I want people to understand that at the July meeting, these people were drinking. Several of the elderly women, including Julie Thies, they were drinking a little bit there at the meeting, and they seemed a little tipsy. And after they won the vote, they were dancing around the table, laughing at us because we couldn't do anything about their vote. These women were not scared. These PCPs were not afraid.
Yeah, they came. I watched them come up to you one by one and like point in your face
Yep.
and laugh at you. I mean, they were not scared. No one was
And
scared.
this is part of the playbook.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole part of the playbook of, how do you undermine your opponent is part of the playbook is, as you say, oh, they're a threat. They're, they are, they're threatening me and they made me scared and I fear for my life and so forth and so on. Well, that's part of the whole playbook. It's something that the left does very well. And what these people
Yep.
are now, they're becoming rhinos. They're becoming very left-like. And they're doing this. I mean, because the same thing happened with the county clerk when it was, they were saying, oh, we have to like get better security for the elections office and the county clerk's office because these people are threatening us and we're in fear for our lives. And I went to Lark, who's the head of the election stuff, and I said, Lark, you bring your infant to work. How afraid are you of being here and the security and the threats that people are? And she's like, you gotta be kidding me. No, I'm not threatened here. But that's part of the whole, D.D. Murphy, Rhino sort of playbook where it's like they can't win on substance. So they have to win on emotional blackmail and emotional turmoil. And, and they're always going to be, they're basically going to be accusing you of things that they're actually doing. And it's something you see all the time on the left, but you don't see it much with people that are quote unquote on our side. But then again, they may not actually be on our side. So, but that's the whole thing. And when they start throwing the emotional hand grenades, you're like going, oh, now you're actually exposing yourself for somebody who's just, a manipulator.
Well, and they were absolutely crazy about it today. They were Lourdes was
Yeah.
walking around today telling people that Rob and I posted online that Michael should be killed.
Whoa.
Isn't it like, or it was
Wow.
it was that should be killed or that he should die or something like that. And it was like,
It's
where is this
insane.
post? What are you
Please.
talking about?
Show me where
And
that.
then they accused another executive team member of like thumbs upping it. It's like, this is not a thing. I do not wish that man death. I actually am like At this point, after watching the theatrics from Lourdes and how she was manipulating Michael and trying to manipulate the court, Lourdes is actually, to me, I think she's the ringleader of all of this, really. Or the vessel through which David Brock Smith is antagonizing the party and destroying it. But Michael,
the Lord
it's like
of the chickens.
Michael is a young
man.
man who could have had a political career, and they are destroying him. They are using him to suppress this party, and it's only going to last a few more months at best. So it's bizarre, and you're roasting this man. You're destroying any hopes he ever has at a political career. So I actually feel bad for Michael. I've said this to him. I do not wish him death. I really wish that he would resign at this point, and then we can hold a new election for a new executive board that is agreed upon by the full committee. I should not simply become chair just because Michael resigns. It should be a consensus. That's what I want. That's what we all want. And anyway, so it's just insane. Like you were saying, the leftist playbook. She's going around today at this hearing, spreading rumors, defaming us. I mean, why? This is supposed to be court where we learn the truth, and she's literally telling lies. And the lawyer asked her at one point to read an email or the petition I made. I proposed the meeting date. So I said, here's a petition signed by 25 of the PCPs, the majority, and this is the proposed meeting date and location. And she said, well, he demanded it. And the lawyer was like, it says proposed. And she's like, well, let me just tell you something about Chris. You know, when he asks something, he's not asking it, he's demanding it. And that's just what he does. He demands things. And the lawyer was like, you're not answering my question. Does this say proposed? And she's like, well, he's demanding. And he's like, looked at the judge and he was like, can you get her to answer the question? And the judge was like, can you please answer the question? And she's like, yes, it says proposed. It's just like, why was that so difficult? Why do you have to make something look like it different than what it is? I proposed a meeting.
We're the ones who are trying to control the narrative, Chris. Remember, that's what they said twice. Yeah. I remember throughout the trial, we are trying to control the narrative.
Yep. Well, and she tried to testify. Well, she did. She testified right when she took the stand. Michael asked her a variety of questions about the May meeting. He was very specific about the May meeting and asked her specific questions about things that happened at the May meeting. And I'm looking at my lawyer going, she wasn't at the May meeting. And I can prove that because there was an attendance record and there was a substitute secretary who took the minutes for that meeting. That was Teresa. And so when our lawyer did cross-examination, he asked her, he goes, so were you at the May meeting? She's like, and it took a really long time to figure out. Our lawyer had to ask her like 7 more questions for her to finally figure out that she was not at that meeting.
And believe me, this is a meeting you would never have forgotten. You would have remembered this meeting. Yep.
And if that was a criminal case, I mean, her whole testimony would have been completely thrown out. I don't know the legalities of it, but I mean, that's like sounds like perjury. I'm not a lawyer. You can't testify to something that you have no knowledge of and claim that you were there. So these people don't belong on an executive team. And I know that's what their allegations are about us, about me, that I don't belong as a vice chair, but I think that's for the people to decide. I think the people should decide whether or not we have fulfilled our obligations. And that's what I propose. Everybody's all upset. A lot of things have changed in the past year. Let's have a new election and let's see where things lie. Let's get the pulse, because I just don't understand how somebody can. She says she wants to be secretary, but she says she doesn't want to go to any more meetings. So what are you doing? If you're afraid to go to the meetings, why are you on the executive team anymore? Why are you secretary?
Oh, and the lawyer wanted to know the names of the people who made accusations against Chris and Danessa to justify the recall. And she refused to give them up because Danessa is such a mean and vengeful bitch that she will sue them all into oblivion.
Yep.
I don't think those words were actually used. That was me. I was being dramatic.
She didn't
again,
say
but
the
it
B
was
word.
close.
No.
There you go,
And so-
drama queen. Way to go.
Damn drama queen. So that's what she said in
Right.
a nutshell about Danessa and Chris. And so that's why they couldn't release the names of the people who lied about her. And we know there was no one lying about her because it was Lourdes and Michael who made up the reasons against Chris and Danessa.
Well, she kept trying to allege that these reasons, this whole list of allegations against us was submitted by the committee, that somebody, because she's just a secretary. She just calls the meetings that the petitioners ask to be called, right? And that's why I had my lawyer ask her, well, who wrote these reasons? Who wrote them? And she said, well, I did. And then she backtracked and said, well, I typed them up from stories that I've heard. I mean, it's just insane. But
So is there
if you go back to
verifiable-
Nicole's comment, like, I get it, Nicole, and I love you guys to death. Like, this, I don't mean this in any sort of judgmental towards you guys or anything, but I get that you want to have faith that Lourdes is a good person, and you want to be able to believe that she doesn't maliciously lie. But I would just encourage you to think about if she was saying these things about you and people close to you, if she was saying these things about you and Rod and just making up things that are not true.
Right.
I get it. Like, the word lie is so strong, I think, because it implies intent, but I've lived it. I've lived this entire year where I have watched Lourdes lie, and I know the intent because I've watched it. I've watched her get upset when she's challenged that these things aren't true. I've watched how much she hates me, how much she hates Rod, how much she hates Danessa, and I watched her today walk around and say harmful, hurtful things about us that we wish to kill, that we wish death upon the chair of our party. That's insane. I don't like what he's doing, and I wish that he would resign and just allow us to move on, but I don't wish him death. And that's that. So I get it, Nicole.
I never
you want to
wished
have
him death. Yeah, I'm sorry. Never have I done that. And I'm ticked off. Sorry, Chris, I got to rant a little bit on that one. It ticks me off that people would say, oh, you're a loud, vulgar man, that you are uncivilized. Okay. All right, I'm a brute, I'm a cad, but not once was I ever a thug. And did I ever touch anyone or hit anybody or come unglued on top of anyone? So I think you might want to take that to the bank, because I've been to, I don't know how many thousands of meetings, to many different group organizations, and not once have I attacked anyone. So it ticks me off that I, as someone who's never been accused of it, much less even charged with it. You can check my record. Go back. No one's ever accused me of abusing them. So I'm telling you, this just ticks me off that they would make that type of threat and start implying it everywhere that, oh, we're mean and they're scared, after the way these drunken hags acted at that meeting in July at that restaurant, and the vulgar language they use. And yet in the courtroom, if you listen to the testimony, I was the only one dropping F-bombs. I'll tell you what, there were people there. There were a lot of people dropping F-bombs, including their side. So I'm getting tired of this one-sided. They're bad because they say mean things. This is the kind of crap they pull on Trump. And this is the kind of crap they pull on anyone who tries to defend themselves when they're trying to call out truth to power. And that's what we're doing here. They don't like it that we're picking on their so-called elected officials, and they're mad at us for this. And I don't know, maybe I'm getting off there, but that was my rant.
No, you're good. Like, dude, and I'll probably take heat for this, but like, Rob, you are allowed to drop F-bombs. What kind of a world do we live in? I mean, please, people, open your minds and be aware of the reality of our modern society. And people will say the word fuck. They'll say it. They'll say it all the time, all day long. I mean, work in any industry other than some like princess industry where you never hear a bad word. I'm sorry, people. And I know there's Christians, a lot of Christians who watch this, and you don't want to curse and you don't want to be a bad person. And neither do we. Rob doesn't wake up in the morning and want to be a bad person. And I don't think that saying fuck makes you a bad person. And I'm going to keep saying it because I don't want Rob to be the only one taking heat for saying that word. And it does not make him a bad person. Now, does it make him a good person for saying that word? Should he be idolized for saying that word? No. Is it a bad word? Yes. But is he a bad person? Is he disqualified from ever being allowed to be a leader or thought-provoking or inspiring? No. If you alienate people who say the F word from that list of people in your life who you could learn from or respect or have feelings and care for, you are severely limiting the scope of your impact on this planet. So there's my rant, Rob. I fucking love you, Rob Taylor.
Thank you. Thank you for
Sorry, Carol.
I want, no, besides that,
drop some F-bombs.
I agree. I mean, Rob is Rob. Don't expect him to be anybody but Rob. The thing that really was also upsetting to me was the assault on Danessa.
Yeah.
I could not believe how vicious that was against Danessa, who has bent over backwards for the Republican Party over and over and over. It's like, how dare you speak about her in that manner? That really ticked me off.
She's so mean. She's going to come after you people. And I thought, you're the ones who are making these accusations. And we know why Lourdes and we know why Michael, like I said, they don't want to come forward with the people who made those accusations, because we believe Michael and Lourdes made those accusations, went to the PCPs, accused Chris and Danessa of those horrible things they've been accused of, which are not true. And
we know that because that's what those PCPs told us. So I went around the county to mostly all the homes of the PCPs, and some of them had signed the recall, and some of them had, and I go, okay, well, tell me about that. Like, did they have a meeting? Did they contact you? Oh no, they contacted me. It was Lourdes. Lourdes wanted this recall. Lourdes wrote up all these reasons. Lourdes this, Lourdes. It was all Lourdes. She tries to make it seem like it was this consensus from the whole county that wanted to recall us for all these reasons. And it was just Lourdes. And I'm sure Michael had influence in it. And it seems like I would speculate that some senator had his input as well. But
you can't really sit around and defend pathological liars. And that's essentially what's happening here, is that she is not only, falsely accusing and giving false accusations and groundless accusations, and basically demeaning and disparaging people that don't deserve it, but she's continuously doing this repeatedly and repeatedly for no other reason than she's just a sad psychopath. She's got absolutely nothing going on in her life of any worth whatsoever, because otherwise she wouldn't be doing this. She would be trying to give the whole point of having a Republican Party is to get people together and try to work together and stuff. This whole backstabbing and, it's similar to what happened when DBS went after Rob. DBS went after Diane. DBS went after Danessa. DBS showed up at Danessa's dad's house. Danessa had nothing to do with any of this. And DBS shows up at Danessa's dad's house and threatens him. I mean, come on, you're going to threaten an 80-year-old guy who is like one of the biggest money contributors to the Republican Party, and you're going to go threaten him personally? This is the kind of people we're dealing with. I mean, Lourdes, DBS, the rest of these people, I mean, yeah, you might say, oh, they're confused, and I don't like confused people that are actually harming me and my friends, because when you harm my friends, you are harming me. And I don't this is essentially clinically, psychologically, pathological liars. I mean, these people are insane. And if they think that we're going to put up with their insanity any longer, the fact that they got up in court and lied in court
Wow.
which last I checked is perjury, and the judge
Yeah.
didn't call him on it. They have no compunctions about lying. They've done it so many times. They are pathological, which means you must stay as far away from them as possible because you're going to get injured. You're going to get hit by the shrapnel. You're going to get caught in the undertow. And this is just
I'm
going to be
using my finger rod.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Do the finger. Not that
I got
one.
the finger. I have a strong inkling that when they went around and got all this so-called agreement from the PCPs being so fearful, this and that, I think they were leading it on. Like, here's what happened. Here's what I saw. Here's my perception, which obviously is distorted. Now, there's going to be some truth in all that. I mean, they've got a point with some of the stuff, I'm sure, being out of hand. I wasn't at all the meetings, so I don't know, because Elmer was still down quite a bit. But you can lead people on into an agreement on something, and they don't have all the real facts. See, facts were lacking a lot today.
Yeah.
We had a lot of emotion.
Yeah. All we have, and here's what it came down to, and I think this is what we need to get boil this down to real quick, is that, and I'll let Chris summarize after I say this, is the way I saw it, the judge came to the conclusion that in his mind, the best thing to do was to set a trap for Michael Brainerd. And I don't think he realized this until about the last 20 minutes when he sat there and he was thinking about it, because he sat there quietly for a good long time. And I think he realized that if he allowed Michael and told Michael that he has to hold the meeting that Michael came into court, didn't tell anybody else, but decided that he was going to have a meeting on December 17th for the executive session to vote on the appointment of PCPs. Now, he just pulled this out of his ass today. And the judge heard this at the very beginning of the trial. He said this at the opening. And so the judge at the end was thinking, and he thought, okay, I'm going to let this guy have this meeting. And because the bar is so low for anyone to be a PCP, because all you have to do is show up to the meeting and have an SEL 105 filled out, be there for 6 months as a registered Republican, and you're in. And I don't even think for an appointment you have to be there for 180 days. No, not for an appointment. You don't even have to be there for 180 days. The only requirement is that you fill out a 105 SEL and you be a registered Republican. And
you don't have to show up at the meeting.
And for this one, you don't have to show up for the meeting. And the bar is so low that the judge said, so there should be no reason you shouldn't appoint all these people to PCPs, is basically what the judge was telling them. And if you don't, you're going to have problems in March when there's another trial. There's another trial happening in March. And so this is going to continue on. And so what happened today was set a trap set by the judge. And then he told Michael that he can't do the recall until March, when the next trial starts. And Chris, let me know where I got it wrong if I did.
No, you're spot on. That's essentially what happened. I mean, the judge is limited to begin with in what he can do, and I think any judge, especially in a case like this, should try to be as least intrusive as possible. So yeah, it's like, hey man, you're saying December 17th you're gonna have a meeting. Okay, do it. And he repeatedly said, I mean, he must have said it 10 times that, yeah, there's really no requirement and that you can't hold anybody to any other requirement. So he kept saying to Michael, I don't know why, I don't know any reason why you would not appoint all of the people that are requesting to be appointed. He said it over and over again. And so we'll see. I don't think he'll do it. I don't think they will. I think they are petty and they will never let this go. And, you know, like everyone, there's at least 10 people commenting on this podcast right now who are have applications in and want to be PCPs. And these people are that petty and vindictive that they're going to go through this comment list and they're probably going to vote no on your applications because that's how childish these people are. So I hope they prove me wrong. That would be awesome because then we could all move on from this. And I think we need to elect a new executive board. I'm on that executive board that needs to go, and we need to elect a whole new board. And because it's very clear to me that we didn't work. And there's enough people in this county that we can have a new executive board. There's enough other leaders out there that can take this party in the direction it needs to go. So that's what happened.
Carol, do you think you would run for the executive board?
Well, I don't know. I'd have to think about that because, like I said, unless I knew we were getting sane people on that, I wouldn't want anything to do with it.
Understand.
And I don't know how to be sure you're going to have reasonable people.
Right.
So
that's why we need to grow the party and extend.
Exactly. Once we can grow the party,
people who are reasonable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, if you grow the party to like 70 people, the chances of getting 70 complete idiots is pretty low.
Right.
If you keep it down to 10, well, you can collect 10 idiots in Coos County in like 10 seconds, but to get it up to like 70 people that are all completely insane.
I've talked to every single one of the people who have put in an application. I've personally talked to every single one of them, and they are sane, rational, not petty, not immature people. Yep. Now, may they change over the next couple of years? Maybe. But as of right now, they're entering this party with open eyes, open ears, and they're trying to make decisions that are in the best interest of Coos County, and that's awesome. I've not talked to anybody who's just coming into this to like get Michael out of there or to get me out of there.
Oh no,
there's no one like that. So
yeah.
And Bill Taylor here.
Hey Rod,
yes.
Thanks for putting me on the spot. I really appreciate that. Also, I still have a year and a half on the school board.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where my focus is as far as boards go right now.
Okay.
Well, you might get nominated, Carol. Just keep that in mind.
So Jeremy Miller is asking, was there any judgment? You want to answer that, Chris?
Yeah. The specific judgment was, I believe, that there cannot be a recall for Danessa or I until there's a trial for this case. And the main reason, regardless of argument, the main reason is to preserve the status quo, essentially, so that we can have a trial, the judge can look at the facts and hear from both sides before things change, right? Before things get too far out of hand, and then there are real damages. The judge is supposed to prevent that from happening. If you want to go back to Nicole's comment, like 2 up, I just want to comment on that. This is why I like Nicole.
Nothing of the sort. Yeah.
She's talking about vulgarity. Vulgarity does not promote the widest receipt of your dialogue. Absolutely. It limits the scope of your agreeability. Yes. The avoidance of vulgarity does nothing of the sort. That last part, avoidance of vulgarity.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that last sentence. I was reading that as well.
Yeah, like I hate cursing when I do it, and I curse a lot, which is a weird thing to say, but I hate it because it's not articulate. I'm not expressing what I need to express. It doesn't really do it, and it doesn't do me service. It doesn't look good to most people. It's not like it's cool anymore. I'm not in middle school. In middle school, when you dropped an F-bomb, they were like, "Whoa, he's badass. Did he just do that?" Especially if you did it to a teacher. But you know what I mean? Like, I get it. And I think Rob gets it too, but we're all different, And so I would never encourage people to just drop vulgar words for the sake of it.
There are
abstinence. I got abstinence for everyone.
A really good exclamation point, though, I must say. I mean, and
the pushback from Nicole and like Gail, I I forget her last name, Gail and Doug. Like
Carol.
the pushback we've gotten from some people is awesome. Like we should be held accountable for the words that come out of our mouth. And that's the proper way to do it. When you care for someone and you respect them, you can have a conversation with them and it comes across differently than going to a judge in court and saying, he bad man, he say bad word. That does not help. That does not make me feel like I want to stop saying the F word. I'm sure it doesn't make Rob care one bit. So I appreciate it, Nicole. Keep pushing back.
Hey, Samuel Adams is on board. Look at there.
All right. All they've done is shown they are morally and ethically bankrupt. Yes. It's impossible for them to behave honorably, and they prove it with every action or inaction. See, that's why I like Sam Adams. He doesn't talk much, but when he does, it's powerful.
That was beautiful.
I'm the opposite. Sometimes I need to learn to shut up, like now.
Yeah. No, you were doing wrong because James says, I don't know. There's this guy in his little cult who seems to think I identify as multiple people. And I think this might be that. I don't know who this guy is. Vulgar words are part of my vocabulary. No judgment.
Right, like
Rod,
isn't the timber industry like big around here? Like, like people, have you worked with anyone in the timber industry? Like, come on. No, I wouldn't be representing the true Coos County if I didn't say an F word from now and again.
Industry, and I had to be very circumspect about not swearing, and I had to be very careful about not swearing in my personal life as well, because when I used to do radio shows, I was just being, off the cuff and like I normally am. If I got used to swearing in my normal life, it would spill over to me swearing on air. And there's a couple of times when I swore on air where I was like, oh, I know where that came from because I swear too casually. So I got out of the habit of swearing casually, but I also appreciate the fact that once in a while, a good F-bomb or a good, other thing is just exactly what that moment needed. Sometimes you just need that verbal exclamation point to like say, I'm done yelling and blammo, and then okay, I've got that across, and now I can go back to like using normal words again.
Cursing is the counterfeit currency of a bankrupt vocabulary, my friend. I think my English teacher told me that.
All right.
What did you say in return? Well, F a bunch of you.
Well, F and A. What the hell did you just say there? Them fancy $20 words.
Why are you using those $2 words?
I like Jeff P. And I know I'm going to screw up the pronunciation of the second word. Is it abstinence or absinthe?
Well, I thought
did
absinthe
all right.
was liquor.
Yeah, absinthe is the liquor.
We need both. Yeah.
Yeah. So we need. So if we have absinthe, the chances of abstinence goes down dramatically.
Way dramatically. Yeah. That's the one with the sugar cube, isn't it?
That's the
test. You pour it over a sugar cube into some ice water, and it goes from one color to kind of a milky white, and you drink a couple of those, and you're like, absolutely nothing can go wrong in the world. And then you meet the floor, and you go, well, maybe I was wrong.
I thought it tasted like crap. Oh my God, it was bad.
Yeah, well, try green chartreuse. It's like drinking a burning pine cone. So
burning pine cone. That's fun.
It tastes like pine. It tastes like burning.
I just can't even begin to describe. Really, I know. We keep talking about these people, and I'm sure there are people watching this who are like, "You guys shit talk these other people who are Republicans." And it's like, but you don't understand. Like we show up to court, right? Everybody's waiting outside the courtroom, and I have called these. So like Julie, who's on their side, she's on the executive board. She's the treasurer. I've talked to her. Like we've had cordial conversations the past couple months. So. Okay, I walk up and I go to shake people their hands. I hi guys, I'm just trying to be respectful and normal and shake your hand, and they don't want to shake my hand. And then they go, "So it looks like you got a haircut." And I'm like, "Yeah, I decided to look, a little more professional." And Julie goes, "Oh, so to fake it, so you can fake it and lie." And it's like, my gosh, like I came over to shake your hand. Yes. Yes. Right outside the first thing. Walked up to him. I mean, it's like, this is what we're dealing with. And yet we're accused of dropping F-bombs in a heated situation where people in this county are being prevented from participation in the party. Like, she's mad that I got a haircut to look more professional, and I'm mad that people are being blocked. School board members, transportation board directors, fire district directors, county commissioners, city councilors are being prevented from participating in the Republican Party, and that is somehow on the same level as my haircut. I don't know.
That's a conspiracy. You got a haircut. I knew it. See, you cleaned all up, you slick.
That's how I manipulate the courtroom.
How very petty. I haven't heard pettiness like that since I was in junior high or high school. I mean, it's like, you know, it's like, oh, you're trying to fake it? You know, what are you? You know, and I'm like, oh, wow. When did we start doing the clicks again? Because I've forgotten all about that BS. So
pretty crazy. I just wanted to shake people's hand and just show that there's a path forward, that we can go to court, but we can also afterwards or before, you know, still be normal human beings and shake hands. But apparently that's not the world I live in.
Oh, I saw Julie in the hall when I was getting the recording of the audio transcript, which is going to be great. I mean, there are parts of that are going to be just gems, true gems. And I'll be playing all of it, of course, and when we get it. But
all 3
she was
hours
standing right behind me, and I asked her, I said, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this to each other? This is ridiculous. And she wouldn't look at me. She just sighed. She looked the other way, like I wasn't even talking to her. It was like, man, are you kidding me? Is this where we're at? You're not even going to acknowledge that I'm talking to you.
Did she throw
They are
herself
above
on
you.
the floor? Did she throw herself on the floor and start like flailing? And, you know, like you see 6-year-olds in the grocery store and mom won't buy them like donuts or something. Like,
Yep, they're above you. That's why, Rob. Honestly, it's sad. It's taken me all this time to figure that out. I wished the best in these people. I wish that they were good intentioned and just trying to do what they thought was in the best interest of our county. And this has gone far beyond that. They are not. They are. They. I don't even. It's crazy. They're elitists. They think that they're better than us. That's where we're at.
And they're proving by word and action that they're not even close. I mean, everybody's bending over backwards to try to understand where they're coming from, trying to understand what they're doing, because none of this is sanity. And it's like, at some point you just have to say, the problem is we can't just ignore them and turn our backs and walk away until we overtake the place in May. But I mean, why do we have to put up with this kind of stuff? This is not a sane way to do things. And the fact that we're trying to like standardize and normalize this kind of insanity is just, why bother? I mean, if they're going to be that petty and that venal and just proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that they have nothing worthwhile to offer, then, you know.
Well, here we are, though. We're waiting for another date. We're waiting for the 17th of December to see what the fate is of all of us PCPs. And then we're waiting until March when there is the trial. And then we're waiting for May when there is the election and hopefully a resolve to all of this finally. And that's now the long game. That's what we said all along.
Yeah.
And we were worried we were going to have to go to November, but we think we see an end in May. So we should be good.
Well, and the good news, everyone out there who has applied to be a PCP, the end of this is May. Once you are down at the clerks and you're on the voting, 3 people vote for you, you're in regardless of what anybody else has to say.
In my precinct, we're getting dangerously close to an actually contested PCP election. If we get one more person in precinct 10 to file, it will be a contested PCP election.
So if you
I
have
did think
30
about that. I don't
Yeah.
know how many we've got. My district's 4 for us. I'd have to check, but
I'm sure you're good. Most
I
of
I
them
think
are all wide
I
open.
just checked, and Chris has got 12 out of 12 right now. So if one more person signs up, only the top 12 out of 13 will
We
make
Hey,
it.
want
Marty.
competition. We want the
Marty,
competition.
how many
Yeah.
are in District 4?
Let
There's
me look.
7
Pull it up.
filed out of 12.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I hope
No.
I get my district fills up. That would be cool, having a contested race, like if we were all facing a challenger. Oh, that'd be so cool. I think that's
Yeah.
great. I think competition is good.
Well,
So
you've
what-
got a
what-
long way to go, Rob. You're the only one in your precinct, and there's 11 positions. So good luck.
I scare them. They
You're-
are afraid.
What are you doing, man? Come on, I got all mine in.
Yeah. I think I've
Come on,
taken them all
Slacker, get
out
your
to the
people
woodshed
signed
a
up.
few times.
Yeah.
I just
Oh,
would
yeah, I
encourage
understand.
people who know these people on the other side. If you know Lourdes, if you know Michael, if you know Julie, if you know these people, and you're still in the back of your head going, I think they're good people who are just maybe caught up in a weird thing or maybe misunderstanding. I really want you to take some time and think about what kind of people would do this to their county. What people would use this position that they have and do this to me, do this to Danessa, do this to Rob and Marty and Carol and say these things. They accused Carol of lying today. They tried to introduce evidence to say she's a liar and that she does get notices and that she does open them. I mean, it's one thing to say, well, Carol, maybe these went in your spam and sometimes email gets bogged down and you miss stuff. Like, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But if you're a real leader in Coos County, what would you do with that information? You'd call Carol. Every time there's a meeting, you would give Carol a phone call and say, hey, Carol, how's it going? How is everything? Are you and Elmer going to come to our meeting in 2 weeks? That's what you would do because you care. And that's your job. But they don't. Instead, they want to put her up on the stand and make her look like a liar. That's horrible. That's a horrible thing to do. So, and again, I just encourage anyone who knows these people who are still questioning and still maybe thinking that they're just caught up in the wrong thing. Like, don't give them that inch because they're taking a mile. Don't give it to them anymore. Don't sit there and talk to them like they're being good people or that and like we're so far past that. That might have been okay back in last spring or this summer, At this point, like what we witnessed today, it's nuts.
Yeah.
They're actively trying to destroy the party.
Yeah. And then to answer
Yeah.
Bud's question, Bud's 101's question about how many in precinct 3, there's 17 slots available and only 2 people signed up right now. So get 15 more people. Make it a race.
Well, that's a lot.
And for my PCP motivation, I would agree totally that traditional family values decrease regulation on private property and endorse candidates that can win on these points. All 3 of those is exactly what we want. And I think I expressed that at one time during the trial. I don't know. Sometimes I black out when I start, rambling like that.
I think Carol was trying to get something in.
Oh, Carol.
Oh, well, I'd be circling back a little bit here, but just circle.
Yeah, way to go.
What just blew my mind when they wanted to insinuate that I had gotten all these emails is I've had this email address for over 20 years. And previously, when Rod Schilling was the chair, I got them all. So now it's just this odd little coincidence.
It's just
that
it's not only you either, Carol. I had multiple people sign affidavits that were sent to the judge weeks ago that state the same thing, that they have not been receiving recall notices and other sorts. I believe I had 6 people sign. I don't think we sent them all to the court, but you're not the only one. And this has been all year long. So
Yeah.
it's
just a quick reminder, if you have to resort to personal attacks to win an argument, you're actually not winning an argument. You're just resorting to personal attacks. So when they say she lied, when they say you didn't say that, or Chris didn't do that, or Chris is threatening me, or Rob's we're afraid of Rob, and Rob swears and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, and so what? But the fact that they're using that tactic means they really have no ground to stand on. And they've been, proving this over and over and over again. So it's just, where they're, it's sort of like that, uh, we're going back to like childhood things where it's like, I know
Mhm.
you are, but what am I? And it's like,
Yep.
that's not an argument. That's just being an idiot. So,
I saw
I
Sam's
do have
comment about not doing this in Douglas County or being careful about it in Douglas County because the rhinos are doing what we're doing, which is going around and getting people to sign up. I wouldn't say we're getting people to sign up. We're educating people on the fact that there is even something called a precinct committee person position.
Mhm.
We're educating them on how that is a representative for the neighborhood and how it functions within the party and what you can do with that position. And then if people want to sign up, they do. But Sam, I would encourage you to do that. I guarantee you there are more patriots than rhinos in Douglas County, and you can find them, and they will win the hearts of your county, and they will win those seats. And I'd be willing to help you. Set aside a day, and we can like go door to door or something, or have a big recruiting event where we explain what it is to be a neighborhood representative, and there's ways to do it. But don't be discouraged if they're finding the rhino friends. Because I know there's more patriots than rhinos in all of Oregon, in all of the
Yeah.
country. Look at it, Trump won. Do you know how many never Trumpers there were? Like, he was up
Yeah.
against 17 people in that first primary, and he was like polling dead last when he first entered that race. I mean, we witnessed a miracle when that man won in 2016. Was it 2016?
Well, the
It's a long
problem
time
is
ago.
the press, all the press and all the online and all the, it was like Twitter. I mean, back when it was Twitter and Facebook and, YouTube and all the mainstream media were all only telling one story. So no matter what Trump did, it was always Trump bad and other person good. And
Yep.
the thing is that's starting to turn around now. Now that X is more of an open platform and free speech is welcome, and Facebook is kind of trying to keep it down. You're seeing more people that are patriots, people that actually are, aligned with the whole idea of, yeah, what is wrong with saying let's make America great again? There's nothing wrong about being great. And the thing is the other side has had media carrying water for them for so long that they just think that, they've been living in an echo chamber, and they think that echo chamber still exists. And we're finding out that it's not. I mean, when we started talking to people about becoming a PCP, first we had to explain what PCP meant. And it's just like, hey, you're like the neighborhood person for the party. So you can be the conduit of what they want the party to do and what you can tell them the party is doing for them, and so forth and so on. And they were like, oh, well, that's pretty easy. I could do that. And so initially it was like, oh, I don't have time to, do an elected office. It's like, it's really not that much time. You're part of the fabric of how we communicate.
Totally.
And it was like, once we explained that, it's not like we said, oh, sign this SEL 105. It's like, hey, we've got these forms. Sign it if you think it's a good idea. And a lot of people did. So, but we weren't vetting them to be rhino. We weren't vetting them to be patriot. We were just saying, if we get enough people, we don't have to worry about only one side doing it. And Sam, if there's a bunch of people signing up rhinos, well, then go get a whole bunch of people, you and
Knock on
Michaela
doors.
and Steve and Todd and everybody, start knocking on doors, start going out and saying, hey, you need to become a precinct committee people.
We're giving
or
them more
person."
work to do.
Yeah,
they
I
don't
know.
have,
And
they
it's
don't
not
already have
like
enough work to do. Sam, you guys are doing a good job. You and Michaela and Steve and everybody.
Chris, could you address the question at the comment by Samuel Adams?
Michael could easily prove he sent the email to everyone. Yeah, and that's what I've asked. So this has come up multiple times this year, this email stuff, that people are not getting emails. It came up the night I was elected last November. It was alleged that not even everybody got a notice that meeting was being held to elect a new executive board. And since that night, I have asked multiple times, what is the email list, Michael? Michael, what is the email list that you are sending out? And the first check would be, are there 49 email addresses? Because there are 49 PCPs, so there better be 49 email addresses. And if there aren't, you need to, like, let's say you've got 40. Great. Are you calling the other 9? Because you have to. You accepted that position, and that's just what you have to do. And if we end up getting 200 PCPs, and it means at some point, when we want to have meetings every month, we have to call like 50 of them. That's what we have to do. And you could do a group text. You could do a snail mail. Like, the fact that they think that it's optional is insane to me. Yeah. It's not optional. It's not up to you. And you want these people to participate. Why would you not want someone to participate? Like, as much as I'm annoyed with Michael and Lourdes and Julie, I would still encourage them to participate. Hell, I invited them to dinner with us tonight. I'm like, hey, we're all going to Denny's. If you guys want to stop by, come on down. It wouldn't bother me. It bothers me when they lie and when they cheat and manipulate and do these things, but I'm perfectly comfortable talking with them about it. This insanity of not wanting to allow people to talk, like to block them out of a meeting, is insane to me. Sorry, Marty. I think we talked over one another.
Oh, I was just saying, I thought you were taking a quick pause, and I was like going, I haven't been to Denny's in a while. Do they have like a kids meal, a kids value menu? Because it'd be like, hey, come out to dinner. I think they have a kids menu. You can sit.
No, I meant it in the most genuine way. I wasn't like, come on down to dinner so we can roast you assholes. No, I like genuinely meant it. Like, we should be able to have dinner together. I mean, I know you meant it. I know you meant it in the right way. Aren't they Christians? Like, how? Like, what? We can't break. Yeah, and Denny's is a great place.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say are new Christians. That's like awfully judgmental. I shouldn't throw their religion at them, but it's just wild. They talk about unity all the time, yet actively disunify. And here we are trying to bring people together, trying to bring new people in. And they're not new. Like, these are people who've lived in the community forever. Like, they're like, they might be new to a PCP position or new to the Republican Party, but these are people who have serious roots here, love this county, would be epic representatives of Coos County, and they are just snubbing their nose at them. It's nuts. You've got the Hawkers, you've got the Amanda's on the school board. Ivan and the son, who's 19 years old, Ryland, is on the city council. These people, like, that's the American spirit. That's the conservative family we need involved. And I'm laughing because I'm so like, my mind's blown at that. Why would you not want them? I mean, they should be speakers at our meetings. They should be. We should be learning from them. Yeah. Shouldn't we all be raising children to be city councilors? And they've done it.
Yeah, and they did it. Yeah, I know. I don't try to rationalize the irrational. We do have some positive things coming up, though. Because
the QR code that you just showed. The QR code that you just showed was essentially, this is how you can go to the Secretary of State website, click on that QR code, and it will take you to register to be a PCP and fill out all that stuff. And if you can't figure out what your precinct is, then what you can do is you can call up the county elections office on Monday and say, hi, I'm Joe Blow. What precinct am I in? But easy peasy, it's an online form. It takes 5 minutes to fill it out. If you happen to know what precinct you're in, you turn it in by Monday afternoon, you'll have an answer that says, you're signed up. You're on the list. You need to get 3 people to vote for you. It's going to be a hard push for me, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try anyway.
One of the things that Rod said to us while we were at the dinner, Rod Taylor, he was sitting next to you and me, Chris, and he said that we need to start vetting these PCPs and put that in our bylaws. And I'm thinking, and you straight set him straight, but I'm thinking that's the last people you want to vet. These are the building blocks of the party. These are the average citizens who know, they're the barometer of what's going on. And if you allow anyone to vet them, there is no one, including myself, that doesn't have enough bias to block certain people because I don't like the way they would vote. And that's why this is a better system to take everyone in who's gone out and has been willing to register as a Republican, because I don't think a whole lot of Democrats are really trying to sneak in the Republican Party. I hear it all the time. I just don't think it's happening at a huge level. I don't know. I could be wrong. I think there are just some idiot Republicans who don't know what conservatism is all about. And I don't even want to go into that.
And then
Rob's intention was not to like vet people in a nefarious way. He meant it in terms of like what happens, if the Democrat Party like sends people over. But we have to unpack this because we're talking about appointments. We shouldn't be talking about appointments. So years and years and years ago, specifically, I guess 1 year ago, the party should have elected 200 PCPs. That's the right way to do this. If the party is functional and serving its purpose, there would be no appointments because I think it's 198 positions, but all positions would be elected. There would be an actual election just like there is for city council or county commissioner or any of these positions, and they would all get elected. And that's the vetting, because all the registered Republicans in that precinct would get to vote on who their representatives are for that neighborhood. And there's your vetting, right? What we're dealing with is a failure of the Republican Party to promote themselves enough in a bright red county that they have these vacancies. So imagine a city council with 7 seats, the same percentage. So we have about 3/4 of our seats are vacant. Imagine that on a city council. Imagine if 5 out of 7 positions on a city council for your city were vacant. That would be crazy. And we're dealing with a situation where imagine then if only 1 or 2 people applied for those vacancies. You can't vet them. They're the only people who have applied. So they win. If you want to be able to vet and have a say, then you need to overflow the application pool, right? You need to have so many people that you can start picking. That would be the time for that conversation, and we are nowhere near it. So we've got 200 seats to fill. We're currently at 49. We've brought about 50 more. We'd still only be at 100, which is half. We've got a long way to go. Yep. And then when we get to 200, we can start. And I don't even want to say the word vetting. We would be having contested elections, and that's how you vet. Just like you would vet your county clerk or your sheriff or your commissioner through an election, through a democratic process.
Well,
and I didn't mean that about Rod, and because hold on, Marty, I didn't mean that Rod was being nefarious or doing anything wrong, like you said. I meant the point was like you said, we agreed that we didn't want vetting because that could go wrong, and we were explaining that to Rod. But it's like you said, I went off on. Yeah. It's just ludicrous to think that there's too many people in spying on the party, even though they could. It could happen. Is a Democrat. I mean, he's a registered Democrat because he likes to spy on the party, and so
I mean, it could. Hey, I can't totally remember if this was something I did or just thought that I should do, but I'm pretty sure I registered as a Democrat when Hillary and Obama were running in the Democrat primary, because I wanted Hillary over Obama. And now I should not have. I should have absolutely. Obama would have been or was better than Hillary. Hillary's nuts, and Obama's nuts too, but Hillary's far more nuts. But my point is like it does happen. So I get it. I get what Rod was saying. Like they could come in and decide to put plants in and do this. But I can tell you we're not at that point yet because I've personally talked to every single person who has filled out an SCL 105 form and turned it into the county. So
Right.
Unless I am a bad judge of character, these are good people.
Yeah, the point I
The
was
more,
going to make is that,
go ahead.
I was going to say the point I was going to make is that you have to be a Republican for 180 days before you can be appointed or before you can run. So there's your 180 days of vetting. And the whole point is we want to get PCPs in. And, after a while, we're going to find out, do they align, once they're in, do they align with what we're trying to get done? It doesn't have to be my agenda or Chris's agenda or Carol's agenda or Rob's agenda, but does it align with what direction we're going? That will be the vetting process because the people that are, that are working for that goal will be the people that stay on. So yeah, there could be spies. Yeah, there could be, wolves in sheep's clothing, but I worry less about that. I worry more about getting way more PCPs in there because the more we get, the broader our reach would be. And that means we can get more people. So that's about the only thing. You don't want to vet them to, okay, your vetting is, have you been a Republican for 180 days so that when you put in the paperwork, they say you've been approved. And then you got to get 3 votes. So if you can't get 3 votes, then okay.
Unless you're in
precinct. So just to be clear, if you're going for the election, such as this next election, you had to be registered a Republican since September 11th of this year to run for next year in May. That's the law.
To be on the ballot.
To be on the ballot.
I believe
You
there
can
are
still do a write-in.
weird way. Yeah, you could still be elected through write-in, but to be on the ballot, you had to have been 180 days. There's weird things around it.
True, but to be appointed,
and I don't say that to like be sneaky and try and get somebody who like just decided they were Republican and just switched to having Republican values. What I mean it's more like for these people who have been conservative their entire life. I'm one of them. Like I've been conservative my whole life, but when I moved to Oregon, I didn't register as Republican because I looked around and saw what the Republican Party in Oregon was doing and was appalled. So I didn't want to be a part of it. But I'm conservative. I've been conservative my whole life. I've always voted for Republicans. Although I did just say I voted for Hillary.
For the 20 years I lived in California, I was registered as NPP, no party preference, because I found.
Does that make you not a Republican, like by values? No.
Yeah.
So it's
just. And to my point that I didn't. Yeah, let me get it. Hold on. Let me make this point because it was something that's been said, and I need to correct it. Is that for the appointment of a PCP? You don't have to be a Republican for that 180 days for the appointment. A chair can appoint you, and you could have been a registered Republican the day before.
Yes, and I went through that with the elections office in Coos County and had them research that because that was my interpretation of the Oregon revised statutes. And then once they made that determination, I also shared that information with our Oregon State Party who had it incorrect, and they are now under that same understanding that it is for an appointment that the 180 day requirement does not exist. But again, this is not some sneaky way to like get people in because that's being misinterpreted, and there's rumors going around that that's what we're doing. We're trying to sneak it in. It's just no, like we care about the truth and what the law says. You need to follow it and know about it if you're going to claim that you support election integrity. If you support election integrity, then you need to follow the election laws and rules. And if you don't like them, you can change them. But that's how you do things. So that's cool. I saw somebody in the comments say they signed up through the QR code you put up. That's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, that was Buds 101. Let me put that up again, but then I want someone to explain the just signed up through the QR code. I think we should give that man a thumbs up. You rock and roll.
I hope I
Yeah.
know this person because I might not be able to claim that I've talked to all these people. So, reach
Well,
out
he
to
just
me.
signed
I want to
up
talk
for
to you.
Smomas.
Yeah, just I'm curious. I'd just like to know how people like why people sign up, what drives them. It helps me understand how we can reach more people. So, reach out to me.
Cool.
Oh,
Very
you know
cool.
me, Chris. He says. All right, very cool.
Oh, cool. Yeah, he knows you. All right. So we're going to have this big event happening in January, at the end of January, and we've got the Egyptian Theater rented. What are your thoughts on that,
Carol.
Carol?
Carol?
Sure.
Oh, okay. Well, I
Well, I
think
gave
it's
it
great.
to you. Yeah.
Oh, you gave it to me. All right.
Yeah.
I
you
think
both.
it's great. Gail's been working real hard on this, and she has got Riverview very, very eager about wanting to do a chapter there. We're contacting the high schools, but we can't really, doesn't seem like do any event there simply because once they open the door to this group, they have to open the door to other groups they wouldn't want. So because they're a public school, that has some different limitations, whereas Riverview is a private school. And they've got a lot of, quite a few young people there really excited to get on board with this. So I think it's going to work out. It's just getting the word out to everyone. And hopefully, you know, we can get a lot of kids almost inviting kids.
Yeah, that's what you want to push because it's hard to
Right.
get into. It's hard for conservatives to get into the school, but if we wanted to do a drag fest drag show in the middle of the woods and take a bunch of kindergartners to teach them about their sexuality, they would be all a go for this. This would be okay. But the whole TP USA Turning Point, Charlie Kirk's a racist, we can't do that one.
Well, you're trying to teach them crazy things like free speech and constructive conversation. You can't do that, man. That's crazy. You're out of your mind.
But that's, you know, people probably just thought that I was joking when I said that, but that's what they wanted to do at North Bend. Remember that,
Yeah.
Carol? They wanted to take the kids out to a camping spot in the middle, way out in the middle of the woods. And they had questions about the children's sexuality, and they were going to talk to them about drag show history, I think it was. And I wish I had a picture of that drag queen or king or whatever the hell it was that was presenting. It was sick, Chris. It was sick. And they were acting like, "Oh, what do you mean? What's wrong with you? You're transphobic." And it was like, I mean, it's wild that you even have to argue this with people.
Well, fortunately, it got stopped. And I was very, you know, well, as soon as you find out, you know, you go in there, okay, this is, let's talk about age appropriate information. And that certainly is outside of that. So it did get stopped. But while we're kind of on the school thing, I've got some information, but I don't want to interrupt the turning point.
Okay, we'll circle back on that one.
Okay.
So the turning point thing, and so Chris, you've been helping out on this. This has been quite interesting. You think this was a good thing? You think we're doing okay with this?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's such a interesting topic because I don't know. I feel bad some days. I really do. That I go on with my life and I sometimes forget that Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Like, does anybody else feel that way? Like, it's just,
yeah.
We live in a society where that has actually become so oddly expected. Like it was almost like we were probably all expecting Trump to be assassinated,
Right.
or some of these other people that they vilify. And so then when it happened to Charlie, it was traumatic and crazy, but I found myself within a couple days, having moments throughout the day where I wasn't thinking about it anymore. And then as the weeks passed, I really wasn't thinking about it anymore. And so, the two vigils I went to were pretty impactful, and I got to meet people who I had never met before. And it was inspiring, and it was really neat to see the community come together. Really, really cool to see people from all different political spectrums. There were Democrats there that were touched by what Charlie stood for and what he did. And I know people probably don't even believe me when I say that, but there were. And so that's the opportunity that we have, right? Is to turn what happened into an inspiring and motivating and educational event, and that's what we're trying to do. So Diane came up with the idea of calling it the American Values Tour and having that be its focus, not it necessarily just be about Turning Point, and that's awesome. Turning Point is one aspect of it, and what Charlie stood for is one aspect of what we value as Americans. So that's what we're going to bring to Coos County, and that's what we're about. I'm all in. I believe in that. That's an awesome opportunity. We're getting people from across the state to come down to Coos County and speak and motivate us and inspire us. And I think it's going to draw in a huge spectrum of people who wouldn't normally attend an event that a conservative party or Republican party is going to organize. So huge opportunity. And I think it's really going to be impactful for Coos County. To use their term, I think it'll be 2026 might be our turning point here in Coos County. So.
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be very cool.
Yeah, that would be
Do you
great.
think we're going to get protesters?
I don't even care if we do. I mean, it's not the point, and they can do whatever they want. I mean, it's their right, I guess, but just because you have the right to do something, does it make sense? No, like, we were talking about vulgarity, just because I can say the F word, does it make sense? So just because you can protest, do you have a purpose? Do you have a goal? What is your protest going to do? What is the, right, the Curtis Buell thing at SWAC, you've got a sex offender teaching the GD program. How many times have we thought about protesting? How many times have we thought, oh, we're going to protest one of the meetings, or we're just going to go down there and protest, or we're going to stand outside on the sidewalk and talk to the kids and hand out pamphlets about how there's a sex offender teaching at their school. But at the end of the day, we thought about it, and it didn't really, I don't think it really would have gotten us what we wanted and what would have actually achieved the goal. So if there's protesters, I would just ask, you might have the right to do it, but what is your goal? Number one, do you even have a goal? And are you actually going to achieve it by coming down there and acting like hooligans? I don't think so, but be my guest. They're probably just going to make fools of themselves.
I refuse to worry about idiots because there are idiots everywhere. I mean, I don't think there's going to be, at the last couple of No Kings rallies, it was like a pretty pathetic showing, except for the people that were bussed into town to do it. But it's like, locals that are, it's like, okay, unless they have like an organized bring your busload of retard or idiots.
That you were right the first time.
Yeah, I know, but I guess.
I mean, if they do Antifa style, if they come with people from out of town, that will be met with force. That's not acceptable. I won't allow that in my town, in my neighborhood. So if that's what we're talking about, that's not protest. That's violence. If they bring violence to Coos County, I personally will be part of a group of people that puts an end to it immediately. So that is a stern warning to anyone trying to do violence. That is not okay in America. Protest all you want.
we will have people there who will be watching very closely. The police will be notified. The sheriffs will be notified. Not that we need them. There will be plenty of grown ass men out there who are willing to defend this county, willing to defend the city of Coos Bay against anyone who wants to do us harm. If you want to protest, I support your right. And if anyone tries to stop them from protesting you, I'm sure me and Chris would be just as angry, wouldn't you? If someone tried to stop these people from protesting, that would kind of piss me off.
Yeah.
Yep.
No,
Do it all you want.
Yeah, if you want to hold up signs and you disagree with what we're saying, hey, that's what freedom of speech is all about. Go right ahead. I mean, I might not agree with you, and so long as you're not hitting me over the head with something, or or throwing, or putting hitting Carol's car with signs, like I saw at some of the protests.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
they were blocking her way and putting signs on, hitting her car with signs, I'm like, that I have a problem with. But you standing around and yelling inanities and playing bad music and showing that your style is your style at that age is actually makes me feel better about how horrible I was fashion wise at that age, because I look at them and go, yeah, I know I was bad, but I wasn't that bad. So yeah, it actually makes me kind of happy. I'm going, wow, look at these idiots. It's like I've reached my quota of idiots today. I just have to watch these guys protest. I'm like, so hopefully the rest of my day will be idiot free.
Yeah, idiot
I mean, if
free.
they come
Well
and
played.
they're being stupid about it and have stupid signs, I might just have to go out and interview them. That might happen.
Yeah, there we go.
And that's what I would encourage. Just go out there and find out what they're doing. That's always fun. And every time I've done it, I've been peaceful. And it's funny when you come face to face with those people. They have a whole different attitude than what they normally do on Facebook. And it just cracks me up watching these people just all of a sudden not have the backbone that they had behind the keyboards. And I remember going to many different times, crossing the street to talk to some of the counter protesters when they were counter protesting our protest, and it was pretty lame. It was pretty sad. They really had nothing to say, if they would speak at all. That's my favorite, when they don't say a thing at all. That's my favorite. Marty, do you know anything about this Scott Pressler guy coming to town? Do you know anything about it?
I don't know the exact dates, times, or locations yet, because we're still kind of batting it about. There was supposed to be a meeting this evening about it. Michaela is large and in charge, and there's a number of people that are going to be, number of people that are going to be organizing this stuff. I sort of backed out of the whole helping organize, because I am going to be out of the country for the next week, and so not going to be much help there. But I think Michaela is going to be, working with Vanessa and probably with you, Rob, and they're trying to. He is got his own tour going. They're trying to figure out what's the most efficient use of his time. So it'll be like, the I-5 corridor, or maybe something down the I-5 and then out to the coast for other things. And, or maybe, and so they're working it out now, but he is definitely coming, and he's definitely going to be promoting vote by mail, because normally he's all about getting people registered to vote. And, one thing in Oregon we have is a surplus of people who are registered to vote. In most counties, we have about 110% of the voting age population registered to vote. So he's not going to be focusing on getting people to register to vote. He's going to be focusing on people to, getting people to take a look at NVBM and, get this thing signed, get rid of vote by mail, get rid of the corrupt voting system that has Oregon in the position it is now. I mean, when people come up to me and they argue about, oh, I don't want to end vote by mail, it's too easy to vote. And I'm like going, well, first thing, I'm not going to call them lazy to their face, but I'm like going, well, it's too easy for the people that are cheating as well. So let me put it to you this way. Do you think your vote actually counts? Because if you do, then why did you vote to put tampons in boys' bathrooms at the junior high level? Why did you vote to put men in girls' sports? Why did you vote for chemical castration of of, boys who want to be girls. Why did you vote for $4.6 billion in new taxes, and so forth and so on? And they're going, well, I didn't vote for any of that. I'm like going, so your vote doesn't count. You know what? You know why your vote doesn't count? Because vote by mail is so corrupt that we haven't had a decent election in 20 years. So maybe, just maybe, we should go back to the one day in person, ID mandatory, precinct level, and hand counting would be nice too. But the whole point is we can't fix this problem if we can't vote our way out of a corrupt voting system. And yes, I know the irony is not lost on me that we're trying to put something on the ballot that's going to end voting by mail. So we're putting something on the ballot to end vote by mail, and we're using the corrupt voting system to end vote by mail. But the part of the thing here is that if we get 100,000 people or 150,000 or 200,000 people to sign this petition, and we educate people about what is wrong with vote by mail, then more people are going to stand up for their rights, and we're going to wake up the rest of the state, and we're going to get the attention at the national level. Trump's covering us from above with the executive order about we will end vote by mail. Harmeet Dillon is saying, and the civil rights lawyer at the Department of Justice, or lawyers at the Department of Justice, are taking a very close look at what's going on with our voter rolls. And, so we're getting help from above. We need to fight from below. And hopefully somewhere in the middle, this horror show that's called elected representatives will be over. Wow.
Oh my
okay,
gosh.
that's my rant. I'm done.
This will be cool because he's coming a week before we do our 28th, 29th, and 30th events. So we're going to have one hell of a week that you're going to completely miss, Marty. And that is great.
That'll be in January. So, that week, maybe I'll come back to Oregon for a week.
So please, folks, tune in next week, next Friday on the Friday Night Rant, and we'll have an update, or check me out on Monday's show on the Rob Taylor Report. Yeah, that's what we'll do. That's really good. Thank you, Michaela, for getting me all this information. Isn't she wonderful? And then, of course, I got this. This is really cool. Roger and Rick Coleman.
Rick and Mark,
Right.
but you were close. You got one of them.
Who's the other guy?
Mark. He's a new guy.
I thought that was Roger.
Well, we'll call them both.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's Mark. He said he'll be at the meeting tomorrow.
I'll go with it.
But yeah, every Saturday we do coffee. We're at Suite F now. It's where the Century 21 real estate office was. It's just 2 doors down at the Broadway Plaza. F stands for Fokker.
Yeah. Friends of Coos County Republicans. We're a bunch of Fokkers here. Not to be saying anything close to the F-bomb, but yeah, we're a bunch of Fokkers.
So come on down, 8 to 11. You don't have to stay the whole time. Just stop in, say hi, grab some coffee. We'll have some pastries. And next Saturday, we're having Monique Despain, who's running for Val Hoyle's seat in Congress. She'll be here. And we're probably going to change the venue because that's a really small space for someone of that stature. So we're going to, next Saturday, I think it's the 13th. Monique Despain will be here, and we'll have a different venue, but stay tuned. So, but that'll be really cool. I think it'll be like 9 or 10 o'clock. She'll show up and do a little meet and greet, answer some questions, give a little speech, and you'll get to know her. So we really need her to win. We need a representative Congress. How cool would that be if Coos County had a representative in the United States Congress? Somebody looking out for us and our conservative values here in Coos County. That would be so freaking awesome.
I would prefer her over the person we have now.
Just a little bit. Yeah. No, and I think we can do it. I really think it's obtainable. She lost last time by 8%, so she needs a 4-point swing. I really think we can get it. She needs to gain 4 points, 4 percentage points. So,
what was the turnout stronger in that election? Which election was that?
I want to say it was 2 years ago. Yeah, Is the governor's race every 2 years? I don't know. I'm tired.
Yeah.
Hey, I said I'd be on the show for an hour, and it's 10 o'clock.
And it's 10 o'clock.
We're at
You
2
son
hours
of a
and 3
gun.
minutes.
Fuckers.
Hey, Carol, are you hanging in there?
Yeah, but I'm with Chris. 2 hours after
right.
sitting for 3.
3. Hey,
After sitting
and we
for
all had to
3.
testify.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you guys want to get out of here, me and Marty can probably do the sponsors. Unless Marty, you want to get out of here too. I don't mind.
No, I know 2 hours is fine. I mean, basically, are we wearing everybody's ears off? I mean,
No, I'm just going to do.
No,
the
this is all
sponsors.
good stuff. I could talk about this stuff for 4 hours, but I mean, it's
Yeah.
like I got to get up and be cheery and nice to
that's
people
right.
over
That's right.
coffee for conservatives. Last week, I had to have like 4 cups of coffee before anybody walked in. You know.
Yeah,
So,
because tomorrow you're having coffee with conservatives. That's right. You got to be bright and shiny in the morning.
yeah. People don't realize I'm an introvert. This is crazy for me. So
Yeah.
I need lots of coffee and
Yeah,
sleep.
I was talking to Rob back when I was in Oregon just before I left to come down here, and I was like going, you know what I'd really like is I'd like to go back to the days when I could do things that I wanted to do. I mean, it's like seems like I haven't done any flying for years. I haven't played any golf for years. I haven't gone out fishing or crabbing in like twice
Well,
this year. It's just
Pick
I
one of
haven't-
them, and I challenge you to do it in the next month.
Yeah, well, I'm going
All of
skiing
us.
next week.
Pick
That's
one of
why-
those things that you haven't done and
Next
do it.
week, I'm going to Canada to go ski for a week. I'm going to be
There you
so
go.
out of touch. I am not going to answer emails, phone, nothing. I'm leaving the country, and I'm going to go skiing. I don't care if anybody's upset or not, because it's like,
You know how for the New Year people do New Year's resolutions? Well, a
Yeah.
long time ago, I was like, and I've tried them, and it sucks. It's hard, right? Because it's like endless. You're essentially saying, I'm going to do this starting now and never stop. It's so overwhelming sometimes. So I came up with this idea of an end of the year resolution, and you make it around Thanksgiving. Or generally like on Thanksgiving, and you go around the table and you make this resolution, and you have from now to the end of the year to do it. So it's finite, and it's less overwhelming, at least for me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe try that, people. Make up some end of the year resolution.
it sounds like he's
and see how
leading
it
up
works.
into the Rob's abstinence thing. Where it's like,
Abstinence.
and from
There you
now
go.
to the end of the year, for the next 3 weeks, do
We shall not
abstinence. Don't
drop
overdrink.
F-bombs.
Don't oversmoke. Don't over whatever.
I have a dream that someday in Coos County, our children and our children's children will be judged not by the color of their language, but by the content of their character. There you go, people.
That's right.
I have a dream.
If I F-bomb, am I not human?
Yeah. We should not judge this man because he has colorful language. Matters not what color his language is.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
Not by the color of his language.
Yeah. I
All
love
right.
it.
So I guess we're doing the wrap-up commercials then.
We're doing
I'm
the
out
wrap-up.
of here, guys. I appreciate every single one of you guys. I'm so happy I've met all of you. And
Yeah.
good luck
It's-
with all of our endeavors.
It's an interesting crew of people we have, and I love every single one of them because it's just like, it's like a piece of art. It's just one of those things where the little bits and pieces add up to something even greater as a whole. Everybody brings
We've got something
something
special
to
down here in Southern Oregon for sure.
Oh, hey, Rob,
So-
before you do the wrap up,
Mm-hmm.
I want to put out a little promotion.
Oh yeah, we're
On-
supposed to circle around.
Yeah, well, you forgot me.
Okay.
You need
We-
to point at the screen more often is the problem here.
I know that's it. I gotta use that finger. We have just for parents that are out there, there's a notification that's going to be going out about a Oregon survey for kids. They get into the gender issue, And they have all these different descriptions on that. The only thing we can do, because again, it's the law, was to send out a notification to the parents. They can opt out. Their kids do not need to answer this piece. They have some valid questions on it, but they end with, tell me about your gender. Tell me about your sexuality. No. And this is going to even sixth graders. Thank you. No. So parents, be aware. Please, please pay attention to that. I think it's going out this week, at least for North Bend. So that's number one. Number two, I want to ask anybody out there who would consider running for the school board. I'm not going to rerun again. I got a year and a half. I have a thing about age, okay? And I'm at the far end of that. So I did a one and done, okay? But we need to have a conservative, because right now we only have 2 conservatives. And if we lose the next seat, it's going to take many election cycles to get back to a conservative board like we did have until this last election. So it's a promo. Please, please, please consider it. And that's my promo.
So let me ask you something. Rain Miller asked the question, is this the thing from OHP? Is this Oregon Health Plan? Oregon
Yes.
Health? Okay.
Yes, it's coming from Salem.
Okay.
I'm picking up a paper copy of it Monday,
Okay.
because I work better with paper, as you know, than I do with computers.
Well, here's the thing, Carol.
You don't
If I was
your emails, obviously.
Carol, if I was 13, I was back in 6th grade, I wouldn't even tell my parents about it, because the 13-year-old Rob Taylor was a real asshole. Not like I am today. I was a real asshole. And so I would have been a real jerk. And all those gender questions, I would have messed with their mind totally. They would have been sending me to the counselor. Oh my God, he thinks he's a zebra and he wants to do all these crazy things. And I would just be laughing and having a great time with it, because that's the kind of things that I would do when they would do stupid. You know, kids know this stuff is crap. They know this is crap. So I think a lot of kids are just going to mess with the school. And I wonder how many would do that. I don't know. Just, do you get the privy of seeing these surveys?
Yeah. Yes. I'm getting an actual paper copy of it Monday. It's online. I can send some of it to you. The problem I had was when they get into your sexuality and your gender. This is not something a lot. When my daughter was a 6th grader, no, you don't need any of that information. You want to talk to a senior and they want to tell you, okay, well, that's another bag. But what we've decided, because we can't control the good old Salem crap that comes down regularly, is that a notice is going out to all the parents ahead of time, before the kids. And hopefully the parents are paying attention to some of that, and they can opt their kids out. They don't have to take this test. They can deny it. And we want to make sure all parents realize that, because you're right. A lot of kids will think, hey, wow, we can have fun with this. But before they get to the questions that we're talking about, they've got to go through a whole series of others.
Yeah, and one of the things that needs to be brought up on this is that Michaela mentioned in the comments here that in Douglas County, the school board made the parents opt in for the kids to see the survey. Is there anything you can do to force that? Because I know Jack Hamerson, or Steve Hamerson, who's Mr. School Board guy, he made that happen. He basically said, okay, you want to send this stinking survey? The parents have to opt in. We're not sending out a thing that says if you want to opt out, you got to sign off. It's like, if you want your kids to see this garbage, you got to opt in. So,
and the thing of it is about that, I agree 100%, but we're too late in the breakdown. that they're going to do another survey. They do it every year, and we can look at that. But I think the opt-in makes a lot more sense. It just wasn't thought of at the time, and they came with this to have them opt out. But you're right. We need to change that, I think.
Yeah, just a thought. I mean,
Interesting.
I didn't
Well,
even
it's a
think
good
about it
one.
until Michaela
And
mentioned it. Yeah.
North Bend has been very open, and I was happy with that. Our superintendent's very concerned and open to that type of thing.
Super duper.
Good deal. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. So,
Good job,
you
Steve.
know, the it's crazy if this is why we ask people to get involved and get into these different districts, is because Michaela's husband, old Jack Hammer, that's right, old Steve Hammerson, he's he's on the school board, you're on the school board, we have Michelle left, and you're holding the ground. You're the bulwark against the leftist crazies that are infiltrated our school system. You know, there's a lot of them there, and so this is why people better get understanding why we need more candidates for these special districts. I think I just get ticked off when people go, "Oh, it's just a school district. It's just a fire district." No, they make $1 billion decisions, and you might want to get in and see what's happening, because there's a
Yes.
lot of this going on.
Yes. Yep. So I'm starting to beg for someone to run.
So someone out there, we need someone to run for the North Bend School District, and that's in the odd year. So the 26th
Right.
year is you won't have any school boards. It'll be in the 27th year.
Correct.
All righty then. Was there
But
anything else?
sometimes, oh, excuse me.
Listen.
Sometimes it takes a while to get people,
Guggenheim.
thinking about it. And are they really, what's this going to involve? And
Yeah.
do I want to really do this? I know I was asked probably 4 or 5 times before I agreed.
Yeah. It's hard because people, I think there's a wrong impression of it. Your life wasn't destroyed totally, was it?
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm not going to say you don't have to put in some time. Obviously you do, but
Right.
no. My reasoning for not even running again, like I said, I have a real big hang up on age. I'm not that far from the late 70s. And I've got a husband who has some health issues.
Yeah.
And that has to be my priority, because that's just something that we have to live with and adjust to after the happenings that he's had this year.
Oh yeah, totally. And nobody can ask anything more of you. You done your time. You did, what is it, 4 years?
4 years, yes.
Wow, it seems like yesterday.
And I actually did 4.5. I was brought on because
that's
we had
right.
people leave and they didn't have
Yeah.
enough.
That was a good one. I remember that. That was a good score. I mean, we did really good at the North Bend School Board. We did a
Oh.
doozy of them. And that's
Yeah,
what happens
we got-
when we work together.
Yep. And unfortunately, this last election went down the flusher.
Yeah. So somebody needs to run. It really doesn't take a lot. And if you want to talk to me or Chris and come and schedule a time to speak with the whole group of us, that would be a good idea. He's easy to contact. You can contact me, Rob, at robtaylorreport.com. And I'll be more than happy to hook you up with our organization, the Friends of Coos County Republican Party. We're the friends of. I don't think I'm not sure they consider us friends in the courtroom. That wasn't.
They don't.
Yeah.
They don't. And I'm also happy to talk to anyone who's interested on what's involved with the school
Great.
board. And you're free to give out my number and my email, because I actually have one that works.
Yeah. And she will answer it. I swear.
Yeah. It's
God,
incredible
that's
how that is.
That's
You've had an
insulting.
email that's been working for 20 years.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it stopped.
Well, it's a coincidence, Marty. You know how those things happen.
A
It's a
coinky
coinky
dinky.
dink. Coinky
She
dinky.
stops receiving it at the same time Michael becomes chair. Everyone else stops receiving the newsletters when he becomes chair. No PCPs were appointed since he became chair. No money raised since he became chair. He is the best weapon the Democrat Party has.
He is the best weapon for that. And one thing I was going to bring up when Chris was on is that, okay, if they're using Constant Contact to send out their mass emails, isn't there, I mean, I would assume Constant Contact has metrics to see how many messages were sent, how many messages were opened, how many messages. It's like just, subpoena those logs and just say, okay, prove to me that you sent out that message on this date and it went to this many people, because it will be in Constant Contact. Same thing with MailChimp. If you're using a mail relay service, they keep track of all that stuff, because one of the things that they do to make money is they say, look at how great we are because you sent out 1,500 emails and you got 1,300 responses because of our service and our suggestions on how to write these emails. If it wasn't there, then there'd be no way they could prompt you to, continue paying for their service. So it's pretty easy to prove what he's saying is a lie, but I don't think we have to prove it, because everything they do is pretty transparent. I mean, you can see right on the face of it that it's just a bunch of BS. So there.
I see Amy had a comment here that she might be interested. Please get a hold of me. Bless your heart.
Amy would be great, and Michelle could really use the support. I mean,
Amy,
seriously.
is Amy in North Bend?
Amy, are you in North Bend? We'll have to see if she answers.
Yeah.
3H Tree Service. Marty, what do you know about 3H Tree Service?
If you have trees on your property that might be getting in the way, or they just need to go away because they just look ugly, and Amy says, yes, she's in North Bend.
Oh, thank you.
Yay! All right, that's it. Good night.
You've done your job, and you found.
I've done my job. That's it. I got to go have cookies. Bye.
Bye.
Right. Time for cookies.
Time for cookies. I wish I was at Carol's.
Yeah, I know. Same here. I'm like going, I could use with some cookies. But anyway, 3HG service. If you've seen the videos, you've seen these guys drop impossible trees into impossible locations. They are bonded, they are licensed, and they are really good.
Yeah.
And not only that, but they sponsored the Rob Taylor Report. But anyway, if you have trees that need to get out of the way, or they're threatening your property, they're going to drop on your house, they're going to squish your truck, you need 3H Tree Service, and you can find them at 541-294-1800. That's 541-294-1800. That's 3H
trees. That's what they sound like. They're like Antifa trees. They're infested with bugs. They've got diseases. They're a liability. They can catch fire at any time. They destroy property. It's freaking Antifa. We got to take these out. Call 3H Tree Service.
So you need 3H Tree Service to de-Antifa your trees.
Yep. De-Antifa.
If you have anything that you need done on your car, these are the people to go to. And not only that, but if you want to keep your car running, if you want to get a tune-up, if you want to get your oil changed, if you want to just, if you plan on going on a trip and you want them to check it out before you go, Tom and Gigs is the place to go. And not only that, but they can do other things like lift kits and performance accessories and bed liners and all sorts of fun. And they've got hobbies and fun things like RC cars and RC off-road vehicles. They don't have that surfing thing anymore, but they do have these. And you look at these RC cars and you're like going, well, I used to have an RC car that was about the size of a Matchbox car when I was a kid. No, these are huge. These are like larger than your golden retriever RC cars. These aren't your little tiny, Matchbox RC cars. Look at the size of this thing. Waiting for the next picture, and there it is. Here he is. Look at the size of that RC car. And and if you need accessories for your RC car, they've got it there. They've got RC planes as well, and a hero copter, not a helicopter, a hero copter.
Eurocopter, damn it.
And then, and if your Christmas spirit is more of the explosive kind, well, they've got tannerite for sale. So go get some tannerite. You got to be 18 years old or older to purchase tannerite. You will be asked to show ID. So there you go.
Herbal choices.
Yeah, they've got 5 convenient locations. By the way, you must be over 21 years old or older. And whether you're buying things or not, you got to show ID to be in the store, because that's the way the rules of the road work. But Herbal Choices, where you can get gummies, you can get all sorts of fun stuff.
Yeah, you can get the gummies, you can get the tanksters. I got a soda. Where's that soda? I had a soda tonight. I just treat it myself to something special there, and it's like having a 6-pack of beer. It's not really that, I'm not gonna go out and go on a PCP like excursion where I drive my fist through some cop's head, his windshield, and it's like, I'm totally under control.
You're going to drink your can of gummy soda and have a nice nap.
Eventually, at some point in time, I think I want to attack the cookie jar, because that talk of cookies was really...
I got that stuck in my head. I need to go get a cookie.
So I do have to say 3 things. Do not give this product to children. This product is a drug, and this drug should not be used when operating heavy machinery or driving on the road. So I had to say those 3 things or 4 things or whatever they were.
It's called driving under the influence, not drunk driving anymore. It's called driving under the influence because you could be under the influence of gummies or special soda or pot. You don't want to be driving when you're under the influence, because you might do something stupid. Well, if you do something stupid and you hurt yourself, well, you're an idiot. But if you do something stupid and you hurt somebody else, then that's just horrible, and that's not something you want to live with. But anyway,
I can guarantee you, I will not be driving anywhere for the next 12 to 15 hours at least, because tomorrow I got things to do in the morning. But that's the nice thing of doing this. I could never do this on the radio. I could never get blasted on the radio. Because I'd have to drive home. There's just no way I was going to do that. But here, this is great. I'm at home. It's in the middle of the night, and it's a Friday night. What else are you going to freaking do?
Yeah, I'm in my office, in my house, in my home. I mean, it's like I have nowhere to go. I'm not going to put anybody in trouble. So
no.
Anyway, 5 convenient locations for Herbal Choices. There's Coos Bay, Charleston, Bandon, North Bend, and Reedsport.
And of course, we were talking about this earlier, abstinence.
Yeah. So as Chris was saying, he said, instead of doing a New Year's resolution where you say, I am just not going to do this anymore, because it makes it like a permanent thing. And most cases, most people's New Year's resolutions last about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you own a gym, I'm betting January is like your best month ever, because everybody comes in to buy a gym membership, and then you never see them for the rest of the year.
Never again.
Yeah.
Nope.
But
and I hear that all the time. Yep.
But I like his take on it, where it was like, okay, let's just hold up on something between now and the end of the year. So,
Well, that's what I was going to say. I've got time lapse abstinence, where you can do it for a short amount of time, and then you go back on it and then try it again for a short amount of time. And maybe that time gets a little bit longer, that time lapsing there. And so abstinence isn't something, you just have to do all at once. You can abstain for a certain amount of time, but just that small amount of abstaining from cussing was a good example. I seriously need to stop that, because I have to speak a lot in public, and he's right. The little old ladies, they just don't like that. They really, and the 6-year-olds, I'll tell you what, they get all upset. You start cussing out there. And so, yeah, a little bit of abstinence. I think we should all try it once in a while, And so I'm not abstaining from THC tonight, but I have abstained from alcohol for at least 3 or 4 months now. So I'm doing pretty good. One or the other.
Yeah, I've been keeping track, and I'm like, my alcohol intake is down like 60, 70%, and so I'm dialing back the smoking as well. So it's like, okay. And then there are days when it's just like, okay, I'm just going to go pound a 6-pack and do like a half pack of smokes because I'm just like that PO'd. And it's just like, I am just really good.
So is that because you left here? You've left here and you don't need to drink as much in paradise in Los Angeles?
No, it actually started before I left, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Nah, it was just I've been keeping track for a while. I have like a thing where I keep track of how much I drink, how much I smoke, what do I weigh, that kind of thing. And I was just looking at it going, well, it's trending downward, but I bet I could, push it a little bit, make it go down a little bit more without too much more effort. So, and so far it's worked. So we'll see.
So far it's worked. So Oregon Firearms Federation, I need to get Kevin Starrett on here because there's a lot going on with the Second Amendment and the court cases across the state. And I don't even want to talk about them right now because I'm sure I'd get them mixed up. They're different measure numbers with different case names. And it's like, it's hard to remember all these things. And on top of what we've been going through here. So, it's hard to keep all this straight. So I want to get Kevin Starrett on the show so he can speak to this. And I think Monday, I may see if I can get him on here Monday and let him speak to it. Yeah, that'd be very cool.
Because as of today, I think it was today, I was reading up that Harmeet Dillon at the head of the DOJ basically said, and not only do we have a civil rights division, but we're starting a civil rights division primarily concentrating on the Second Amendment. So we are going to be paying attention to Second Amendment violations nationwide and addressing them. And I'm like, now that's good news.
See, that's why I love this president. We no longer have a Department of Defense. We have a Department of War. And we've got a department for the Second Amendment because we think everyone, including you, should be allowed to own a gun. Yeah. That's how damn determined we are to defend our rights and our shores from sea to shining sea, folks. That's right. We're just badass. I love it. And the president, he's making America great by arming everybody. This is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, he's actually doing things that, it makes perfect and common sense when you look at it. And then you realize it's one of those things where it kind of sneaks up on you. You didn't realize how many things have been eroded away. How many of our rights have we lost just by them sneaking in this, that, and the other thing? And and how much, why are we constantly in debt? And it's because they've been doing all these things with NGOs and USAID and other things where they're funneling all this money into places that have nothing to do with us, the end using taxpayers.
Right.
And it's like, now he's going, you know what? If we just set everything back to like common sense, normal, and follow the Constitution and follow the rule of law, everything will be really great. And, and I like the fact that everybody's driving by Tim Walz's house and yelling the R word at him because it's like, if a bunch of Somalians and the average IQ of people in Somalia, I just saw this on one of those charts that shows average IQ for countries. The average IQ for people in Somalia is 86. And yet they ripped off $8 billion in Minnesota where Tim Walz is the governor. So
$8 billion. And let me tell you, for the people who don't know, people who don't know what Marty was talking about, the R word is retard. If you didn't know that, you're a retard. Just to make that clear.
Yeah, we're not making fun of the developmentally disabled. We are making fun of people that should be smarter and go out of their way to be stupid.
Thank you.
When I say the word retard, I'm not making fun of somebody that's developmentally disabled, which is hard to say for some reason because I haven't even had a beer today.
Because we're probably just mentally.
We're that.
Yeah, we're that. See, we're really screwed. Don't make fun of us, damn it.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking we ought to change the language and make it post-tard for him because he's way past retard. So
Way
he's
past
post-tard.
retard.
Yeah, so he's post-tard, and nobody can get upset about post-tard because it could be I'm just mispronouncing postcard for all they know.
Yeah,
But
so
anyway,
those are some of the good things that are going on, and in the nation. And it's sad that we don't get to hear. We just did a whole show for the last 2.5 hours, a little bit longer, and we really didn't cover anything that happened outside of Coos County, Oregon. It was like anyone watching this show, and there's like 223 people watching live right now. If they were watching this show from outside of Coos County, they've got to be wondering what the hell have these people been talking about for 2.5 hours. It sounds like this nefarious group has taken over the government, and it's just a little bitty county. And yet for us, it's our lives because we live here, and it impacts everything that we do because government is local. And because it's local, everyone has to get involved on the local level. And watching what we're going through and why we do this is so that people can see that there are ways to fight back against the nefarious politicians and the leftists and the crazies who want to rule your world. And we're just trying to expose that, but we're just doing it on a very small level, a little
yeah.
level.
But sometimes it's nice to talk about the national level stuff too, and how it's sort of, because when we brought up Oregon Firearms Federation, it was like, yeah, and it's, it dovetails into the whole Department of Justice is going to have a two-way, civil rights group now, and it's like, cool. So it dovetails, what's going on in Coos County dovetails well into what's going on at the nation, and that's why I keep saying, if we keep fighting at the county level, we are going to get attention, and the attention is going to be, the Department of Justice and the president and whoever may give us assistance. If we don't ask for help, we're not going to get it. So we're
Right.
asking for help.
Right.
And I keep asking for help, but and it's like, I'm going to keep asking for help. I keep bugging the DOJ. I keep bugging, Data Republican. I keep bugging, Elon. I keep bugging all these people, just like going, anything you can do to help. I realize I'm in Dink County, Oregon, but if we get it started here, it will spread all over the state. And next thing you know, Oregon will be red again, and everyone will be happy, and we'll be prosperous because we have lumber, we have fishing, we have all sorts of things. We used to have high technology, but Tektronix is going, and Intel's going, and what are we going to do? Make fidget twisters?
Marty, the people who are coming in and telling me that they have been laid off are going to be laid off was just depressing. I mean, it just wasn't one or two people. I mean, it was, I couldn't believe, I didn't know that many people were losing their jobs. And it was a different variety of jobs too.
Yeah, the Roseburg plant in Weed just shut down, and their veneer operations. So, and it keeps going. I mean, Dutch Brothers, relocated out of state. I mean, that used to be locally grown, coffee shop from Klamath Falls or whatever. Went national, and now it's like, yeah, screw you, Oregon, we're out of here. But anyway, Oregon Firearms Federation, they don't support the show, but we support them. Band and Gun Club. If you need a pistol range, well, there you are, bandandgunclub.org. And wait, there's more. It's the Tioga Sports Park Association. This is for people that want to shoot long-range weapons where you can, I don't know, how far can you shoot on that thing?
100 yards.
Cool.
It ain't really that big, but they're trying to expand it to 600 yards. They just need to, they need the equipment and the money to do it. To go 600 yards for what they're trying to do, it's going to take a little bit.
I would think so, because isn't it out by the where the I call it the dump, but I'm sure it's got
the dump, a refuge. I don't know what the difference is. It's like, you're at the abandoned refuge and you're going to the refuge. I mean, is it RUF? Yeah, RUFUSE.
Refuse as in junk, or I thought it was called something even more politically correct. But anyway, anyway, the junkyard. It's next to the dump out anyway. And then there's Coos
That was
County
Titus
Neighborhood
Sports Park, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Coos County Neighborhood Watch, right next to the dump. But
Right next to the dump. Yeah. I'll tell you what, they kind of are, man. I tell you, I go on there all the time, and so they're gearing up for the porch pirate season because people are getting their Christmas gifts. So they're gearing up and they're explaining to people how to watch, how to report, how to, you know what I mean? And it was so cool.
Yeah.
They're all excited. They're ready to go out there. And as soon as they see someone, they're going to pounce on it. And now I'm walking outside and I'm looking around to see if my kid gets a package or, anyone in the neighborhood. It's like, I'm ready to go. We're going to catch them. We're going to get those porch pirates. Matey.
yeah, so you'll have like a continuous stream of UPS trucks or FedEx trucks, followed by porch pirates, followed by people in cars for neighborhood watch. It'll be like a Christmas parade.
It'll be like a new Christmas tradition. Honey,
Yeah.
let's go put some garland on the tree, and then later we could go chase some porch pirates. Bring the eggnog.
Been watching some videos where people have been like, porch pirates show up and grab a package on their front porch, but they got it booby trapped. So as soon as they start moving it, it shoots like, the baby powder, colored baby powder or tinsel or something, but, and just kind of like covers them. It's almost like that dye they put on packets of money. So,
yeah, I love that stuff. That's what they should do. Which I have a story that's kind of like that. I have a story that I'm going to be doing soon. I did the interview already, and I've got to post it, where we talk about this candidate in Colorado who had her sign stolen, and she got tired of it and placed an RFD chip in there, traced it to the place where it was, which was in the trunk of a teacher who was teaching at the school where she was running for the school board. Coincidence? Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. And so it's going to be a cool story. I hope to have that out soon. But that was I just got that interview a week ago, and I've been trying to get it out, but we've been so busy. It's just nuts around here.
You know what? That might be an interesting service to offer the. Isn't it the Robinsons that do most of people's political signs?
Yeah.
Yeah. So go to the Robinsons and say, hey, what you ought to do is for a premium, you could have RFID chips embedded in all of them so that if somebody rips off your sign, you'll know where it went.
I'm calling Matt tomorrow.
Yeah. Wouldn't have to put it in all of them, but you just put it in enough of them. So
just enough.
I remember when we put out Todd Vaughn signs, it would be like we'd put out Todd Vaughn signs and then, drive out to Roseburg, putting signs all the way out there. And on the drive back, half of them would already be gone. I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah, I think we would have been led to the trunk of the car owned by a fat senator. I just think that's where we would have gone.
Or one of his fat minions.
And of course, the Coos County Citizen Watch or Citizen Council. This is the Chris Castleman organization he's a part of. Many people are a part of this. They're working hard to keep an eye on the elected officials out there. He does a podcast every Wednesday, and you can join him and Brandy Martindale and, of course, Samuel Adams, a.k.a. Perry. And Perry Holman will be there. Good stuff.
Nice.
I don't really have anything else to say. How do I get this off here? Damn it. Where's the button? There's no button. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. Thank you. I wanted to add that to the stage before I go.
Scott Pressler is coming to Oregon. And it's all about NVBM. One day, in person, hand counted, with ID. So he's going to be around January 19th to the 25th, which dovetails nicely into it's called American Value Tours. I had to go look at my chalkboard to remember what it was called. And that's going to be happening on the 28th, 29th, and 30th. So a whole lot of events coming up at the end of January. And Scott Pressler is going to be traveling the whole state. And as soon as we figure out where he's going to be and what time he's going to be, It's going to be great because you're going to want to see him. He's a very good entertainer, very inspirational, and he's gone all around the country. Normally, he gets people to sign up to vote. In this case, he's going to get people to sign for NVBM because, like I said previously, we have more people registered to vote in the state of Oregon than we actually have people that are legal to be registered to vote in the state of Oregon. So getting people to register is not a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Getting people to vote cleanly is a problem.
The whole 22% of it, was it 22, 24%? What was it last? It was pathetic.
Yeah, I mean, we had a 20-something percent, we'll call it 22% turnout, which means, well, let's call it 25% because the math is easier for me, which means 75% of the ballots that were sent out went into the garbage. That's money thrown into the garbage. It costs money to send out all these ballots. The state's not doing this for free. Well, the state doesn't do anything for free. It's our money. But anyway, so somebody has to pay for the postage for all those ballots. Somebody has to pay for the printing for all those ballots, and then 2,000, 3,000 ballots come back because they, bad addressing, it's undeliverable. Well, shouldn't you be using the National Change of Address Database and the USPS address verification APIs to make sure that you're not sending out dead ballots? But anyway, moving on.
Anyway. Hey, they got these new buttons over here where we can do AI background. And so I said, I want to see Antifa rioting in Portland. And they said that was too violent or something like that. And I said, so could you just show me Antifa in Portland? And this is the background here that I got.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. Oh, you're covering the sign right there. It says Antifa. And then it's, there you go. Yeah, it doesn't work. Here, let me see if I can, let me clear.
Well, actually, let's see if we can do this number.
There you go. See, Antifa, see the symbol underneath with the arrows? Those are not correct. That's not correct.
That's not it. That's not correct Antifa logos, but yeah, it's people in black, dressed up in black and knocking things over. So close enough for engineering.
Close enough that's AI though. So it's, but that's, if you looked at it and you were just going through, you would believe that, oh, that's Antifa, it's horrible. But then you start looking at it and you're like, no, that's bullshit. But it's kind of neat that everyone's going to this AI crap.
Yeah. I like the fact that Antifa, like the guy in the front writes, like, people are carrying umbrellas, Antifa with umbrellas. Go out and be anarchists, but be safe and don't catch cold.
Oh, that's funny. And there's the music.
Well, that means it's time to go. Hey, everybody, thanks for being on the Rob Taylor Report Friday Night Rant. A lot of ranting tonight, but, mostly about Coos County this time. But coming up Monday, Rob's going to have his normal Monday afternoon show, and it might be Kevin Sterrett.
It might be. We'll find out. I hope so. But until then, folks, you know what I always say? Carry on, Coos County. Carry on.